Hey, what's up? Late night chat. How are y'all doing? I want to talk about. What do I want to talk about first? So, have y'all heard about I think his name is Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player. The teenage dude that stabbed his the other student to death, the twin brother. I want to talk about that. I want to see y'all thoughts about it. Hey Raven, hey T, hey Andre, hey CL, RL, Ty, Trishan. I don't have many details either, but I want to talk about just the topic of bullying, because for me, I want to just know y'all thoughts about the turn up, baby. When you bully, the turn up. I remember when I was in junior high and I think I had just got into the group home, and it just was a lot going on in my life. Um, and I let this boy. I don't know if I told y'all this story before. I might have briefly, but I'm gonna tell y'all again if I haven't. Um, there was this cute boy. His name was Mike. Light skin, cute. Now, anybody who know me know I like me a chocolate. That is my tea. So Mike was that typical Chris Brown light skinned boy that all the girls chased and fawned over. That Chris Brown looking boy. He might have been. He kind of looked like Puerto Rican and black, but he could have been just biracial. He could have just been light skinned and black. I don't know what he was, but he was tall. His name was Mike, and he was light skinned and fine. Not my type though. Like he's the type of dude that I can look at him and say, "Oh, everybody's gonna love you," but Diamond don't love you. You cute, but okay. So we had a class together, and he's also one of them dudes that everybody does stuff for. Like because he's fine and everybody is all the girls is fine and they doing stuff for him. They be doing his homework. All the niggas in the school is on his nuts, and he's just one of them. So those type of dudes exhaust me. They exhaust me. It is they just don't give me my life. I don't live. I do not like dudes who are, some people would call them alpha males. I do not like dudes who are that kind of men that are kind of that take up too much space. I just don't like it. I like confident men, but I don't like men like the, y'all know who I'm describing. It is like men who are fucking loud and they just take up too much space because they were raised to do that. They were raised to be kind of loud and buck, and it's just I hate it. It annoys me. And it might trigger me because they usually are fucking bullies for real, for real. But this particular one was not a bully. He never really said anything negative to me. But he was handsome and he was that kind of, pretty boy everybody lived for. So we had a class together, and this was eighth grade. And so I hadn't transitioned yet. It was like the summer before that. This is like the school year before I was like, ooh, this is when I'm gonna be that girl. And he we had a class together. I can't remember how this all went down, but I don't know why, but because I don't normally do this, but I don't know. I probably was, I don't know why I did this, but we had a class together and he ended up having to use my book. Now, mind you, I might have just been being nice, because he wasn't somebody that I was like, oh my God, I live for you. So it wasn't like that. I don't know. I must just have been feeling nice or whatever. So I let him use my book for an assignment. And the caveat was, I just don't want you, just don't take it home. um, and so let him use my book. And he brought the book back. He brought the book back. And maybe I think it was like a day later or 2 days later or whatever. I think it was like 2 days later. And now I need my book. So I have to go to his locker because I tell him in the class, yo, I need my book. So I need to get my book. He was like, oh yeah, meet me in my locker. So I go to my locker and get my stuff. Um, and then go to his locker. Now, my locker is like in the middle of the hallway, and his locker is like closer towards the end by the stairwell. And we have to pass his locker because we got to pass his locker to go to get to mine. So when we coming out of this class, we have to go down the hallway, pass his locker, and then he stops at his locker, and I go and I keep going. So he is boyfriend girlfriend with this girl named Jessica. Jessica's pretty, um, long hair, pretty girl. Jessica has like a sidekick named Pebbles. Now that I'm older and I have politics, I understand some of the stuff that's going on, some of the dynamics that are happening in this coupling. So Jessica, both of them are pretty girls, but Jessica has the stereotypical shit that people fawn over as far as girls. She's light skinned, she got long hair, she's skinny, she's very respectability politics kind of girl. S- just enough sexy, just but not over sexy. You get what I'm saying? She's the kind of girl who is just enough. We're in our early teens, and she looks like a the typical girl, like the typical pretty girl, typical. Nothing that I think is stunning, but very typical. Long hair, her, and this is the '90s, so everything was very Aaliyah, natural hair, and we're teens, so everybody wasn't wearing makeup, everybody wasn't wearing weaves and wigs, baby hairs. Nobody was doing none of that. So this was the era of natural beauty, um, and we were teens. So she looked like that. Pebble, on the other hand, also was pretty, but she wasn't light, and you can tell to make up for the attention that Jessica got, Pebbles emphasized her body because she had a better body than Jessica. And so how she dressed was a little more provocative. Not over the top, but sometimes it'd be like, your mama bought you that? Your mama let you wear that to school? It was some, not all the time. This wasn't consistent, but consistent enough to where you like sometimes she be wearing regular clothes, but then sometimes it's like, why are you dressed like a stripper? It's sometimes like that. Whereas opposed to Jessica, Jessica never dressed like that. Jessica was always, it wasn't like clean girl, but it wasn't. she could be on the WB. She could. It was still clean, but it wasn't like no sex appeal at all. It wasn't school marm. It wasn't church girl, but it wasn't like Pebbles. Pebbles emphasized her body. Booty shorts. Jessica never wear booty shorts. Um, so do y'all get what I'm saying? The dynamic. So both of them are pretty girls, but Pebbles emphasized her body because that is where quote unquote socially she was lacking. Whereas Jessica emphasized her typical her face and her long hair. She was really obsessed with her long hair. um, yeah, that's what it was. So and all the people talked about it, like talked about Jessica. Jessica, that's why Jessica and Mike made a perfect couple in the eyes of the student body because Mike was the perfect tall pretty boy and she was the perfect tall. She wasn't tall, but she was a perfect pretty girl. All the dudes fawned over her, so they were perfect together. So anyway, we all are coming out of the class. Pebbles is not in our class, but me, Jessica, and Mike is in the same class. So we're walking down the hallway, and now remember, I am a queer, obviously queer, young, skinny kid. Boy. Um, it wasn't a secret that I act like a punk. It wasn't a secret. I wouldn't say that I was like openly gay. I wouldn't say that I was openly like, oh my God, I'm queer and I'm here. It wasn't that. It was just quiet and everybody knew I'm feminine. You get what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers would call me a fag and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't unusual for somebody to clock my teeth, my queer teeth. So I'm walking down the hallway, going towards that, and I come up to him and I say, hey, you got my book that I let you borrow? He was like, yeah, come to my locker. I'll give it to it's at my locker, I'll give it to you. So when this brief conversation happened, it is me, Mike, and Jessica, and Pebbles is walking up because she's not in our class. We're coming out of the class. Pebbles is walking up because she's friends with Jessica. So she was in another class. Bell rings. She's coming. This is how I was in high school. I wasn't walking rainbow, but people knew, right? So Jessica is so okay. So y'all, am I describing the scene for y'all? Me, Jessica, and Mike are in the same class, and when the bell rings, we come out the same class. Pebbles is in another class down the hallway. She meets up with us. Now, I am not in their friend group. I am the gay boy who is a loner, who is not a friend. I'm not friend with none of these people. I'm a outsider because I'm the gay boy. So I'm not in the in crowd with these people at all. But, and this is the blessing of being a queer person, you're popular without having to do anything to be popular. Does it make sense? We are just talking. I'm telling a story. Um, there's a theme to it. We're talking about the boy that stabbed his classmate in Texas. You know what I'm saying? As queer people, you don't really got to do nothing to be popular. Just because you're the queer person, people will know you. So I never really had to work to be popular. Now, I won't say that I was in the in crowd like I'm the cool kid on the block. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. It was just I was queer and I was, you know what I'm saying? So people knew if they say you know, such and such, such and such. They would be like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to work for that. So this is what it was. I'm not in this in crowd. They are the it kids of the school. But we're coming out the same class, we're walking together. Yeah, easily known. Yes. So when I come up and I am talking to Mike about my book, Jessica is him and Jessica is walking out of the classroom. Jessica knows because she knows the context of my conversation. So to Jessica, me talking to him is nothing because she knows what's going on because she's been in our class this whole week. So she knows that he didn't have his book the other day. She knows that I let him borrow my book. She knows that I'm asking for my book back. You get what I'm saying? So Jessica has no reason to say anything to me about why I am talking to Mike because she knows what's going on. She was in the classroom with us. Pebbles, on the other hand, don't know none of this. And I'm not in the in crowd. And so when Pebbles comes up and sees me talking to Mike, the queer boy, Pebbles says something along the lines of like, and she doesn't say anything. She just makes this face of like disgust of why are you even with us? Like she makes this weird ass gesture of and Jessica says, Jessica makes this. Now, mind you, I'm describing it so y'all can understand the context. This all happens within seconds of each other. So we come out of the class. I ask them about, hey, you got my book? And Pebbles come in between me and Mike, and she makes this little look like, why are you like I'm disgusting her by even talking to her, talking to them as the in-crowd girls. And she is not, she's in the in crowd because she's friends with Jessica, but bitch, you is not that girl. She's that girl. So that's the context. You only in the in crowd because you friends with Jessica, but you're not that girl. People read the fuck out of you because you be musty. She's that girl. You be musty and you dress like a slut and people read you. People read you about how you dress weird, you get what I'm saying? People read you and you be musty. So fuck out of here. But I am the queer kid in the school. I haven't got the confidence that I would come to know when I'm older. So when she give me the little mig mug, I'm like, and I just go. So we pass his locker, I go to my locker, get my stuff out of my locker, and come back to his locker where he and Jessica and Pebbles and some other dudes that's friends with him is standing. So I'm sitting there next to his locker, not really, really close to them, but right by there, just really waiting because he tells me to come back to his locker so he can give me my damn book. That is the point of me being here. I would not be standing right here if he had not told me to come back to his locker so he could give me my book. So I'm standing there waiting for him to get my book. And he's talking to Jessica and the dude, and the bell is about to ring. I mean, the bell is, it's either we need to, I think it's the end of class. Yeah, this is the end of school. Like, this is the bell to go home, to go to your buses. And so I'm just standing there, like, waiting for him to get the book. I don't want to be rude and be like, oh, can you give me the book? Because they having this little conversation or whatever. But so I'm just standing there because he knows that I'm waiting for my book. Pebbles don't know any of this because, bitch, you don't know what's going on. And so when she sees me standing there, it irks her. For whatever reason, it annoys her. And she uses this moment to say, why are you standing over here? He ain't gay. So when she says he ain't gay, now this is a crowd of people. This ain't got nothing to do with him being gay. This ain't got nothing to do. Bitch, I ain't even told you I was gay. not saying that they couldn't figure it out, but I haven't confirmed none of this. This is my time in my life where I ain't confirmed nothing. I ain't out here saying I'm gay and I'm proud. No, this is not that time. And so when she says that, oh, she says he ain't gay. Get the fuck on, faggot. Like she says, yeah, she says faggot. Get the fuck on, faggot. And Jessica starts to laugh. Mike starts to laugh. But when Mike laughs, he says, nah, nah, nah. He was like, nah, he coming to get this book. What the fuck you talking about? Like what? Because now now that she done brought the he not gay into it, of course, we are teenagers. He gotta be like, this ain't got nothing to do with no gay shit. He coming over here to get his book. I brought his book for and this really is really awkward. Like he shouldn't have to explain all of this for real, bitch, because this ain't got nothing to do with you. But so this happens within seconds. He ain't gay. Get gone, fag. Jessica laughs. He laughs, then starts to explain. So how my body reacts to it is the initial like what? The initial what from the he ain't gay, and then her calling me a fag, that's immediate triggers. Jessica laughing, immediate trigger. Like, so my body is saying, doop, 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 doop. This is literally how my emotion is doing in my body. So the what? The like, why are you bringing up gay shit? Then you call me a fag. Jessica laughing. He's laughing. And I really just want my book and want to go home. But my body, it just says toot, 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 toot. And baby, all of a sudden, I say something. I don't know what the fuck I say. I call her a bitch. And say something. You called her some kind of raggedy ass bitch. This ain't got nothing to do with you. I just want to get my book. But when I say that, I can tell she was reacting to it. But before she could even react to it, I say, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Just get her. Boom, 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 boom. Just wearing that ass out. So fast that everybody just jump up. So then I grab her by her head, boom, slam it up against the fucking locker. Boom, and then slam her ass down on the ground. Boom, 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 wearing her ass out. I'm just going nuts. Now I want y'all to understand. This is like smack dab in the middle of my mom's spiral into her addiction. I'm just now in a group home. I have been separated from my mother, my family, and blah, 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 blah. I am going through an emotional crisis. And I have not been able to let it out at any time. And this is the moment where I am letting it out. And so I am mauling her like a baboon. Mauling. And so, once you, and it's so vicious in the moment that it is shocking everybody. Sometimes when you get in a fight, everybody was like, oh, break it up. But because of how viciously I am mauling her, everybody is kind of like in awe, like in a shock mode. So everybody is like, whoa, like this is not just a normal fight. This is like bloody, crazy girl fight. And so everybody is kind of like, whoa, standing around. But nobody is touching me. Nobody is trying to stop it or touching me. Next thing I know, Mr. Pope. I had a teacher in my school. His name is Mr. Pope. He was one of the very few black male teachers that I had ever. I only had a few black male teachers. And he was one of the very few that I actually liked as an individual teacher, Mr. Pope. Mr. Pope sees the crowd come, so he comes out of his room, out of his classroom, and sees that the fight is going on. He breaks it up, and he grabs me and slams me down on the ground and gets on top of me. And so he gets on top of me, and I'm on the ground, and he is over my whole body except for my face. And this bitch comes over on top of him and just says boom, 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 boom. And it's just free hand hitting me. And I can't block it because he's on my body, on my arms. I can't block it. I can't do nothing. And it's beautiful hits because there is no, because I'm on the ground and my head is against the ground. So my head can't even, like, if you hitting somebody from like standing up, their head can kind of take some of the shock by going back, but it's nothing but fucking ground there. So she just get to hit me and it's just there. Boom. So she hit me like 4 times. Boom, boom, boom. Cause I can't even block them. So it's just free, unadulterated hits. So like even now, I can't remember after that. Because my anger and my adrenaline and everything, I blacked out. Because yeah, I was so angry at everything. I was just there. So somebody, I think she hit me like 4 times. I think it was like 4. Maybe more. I don't know. I think it was like 4. But I see somebody grab her, and I don't remember anything else except for me being in the office. So the security puts me in handcuffs, puts her in handcuffs. I couldn't. My mind exploded into demonhood, Drewby. My mind exploded into demonhood. But because these are grown men on me, and I'm a 12-year-old teen, 12, 13-year-old teen, I can't outstrong him. He's a grown man. So I couldn't outdo him. So they put the handcuffs on me. They put the handcuffs on her too. And they take us down to the principal's office. And so we get into the office and she's crying and saying that her handcuffs are too tight and da 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 da. And we're in the little office together, and I am sitting and I'm quiet. Our security at our school have handcuffs. They can handcuff you. Y'all security didn't have handcuffs? Yeah, the officers in our school had handcuffs. They were able to handcuff you. Anyway, so they handcuff us, and we're in the office, and I am totally quiet. I am totally quiet, and we're in the office together, and we're separated by like multiple like 3 chairs. Not in middle school. Yeah, in middle school we had officers there with handcuffs. Anyway, so they have called I really don't know what they are doing. Like, I don't know if they're calling juvenile on us. I don't know. We're waiting for either we're waiting on the juvenile paddy wagon to take us to juvenile, or I don't really know what their mindset was in regards to what was about to happen. Were we just gonna be chilling until it was school was let out and then we just gonna get suspended? Or I didn't know what, or were we waiting on the paddy wagon? Or I don't know what was going on. But what I do know is I do not give a fuck about what's going on. All I want to do is to say calm enough for them to take these handcuffs off me. Because as soon as they take these handcuffs off me, I am killing her. That's all I could think about. Soon as they take these handcuffs off me, I'm gonna sit here and be calm. I'm gonna sit here and pretend to be calm, but my inner workings is I am going to kill her. That is what my brain is thinking. That is what my so all I need to do is to get out of these handcuffs. And if I be quiet and calm down, they will take them off of me. And she's crying and hooping and hollering, but she's making the point of we're not fighting anymore. These handcuffs are too tight. Take these handcuffs off. We're not even fighting anymore. Blah, 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 blah. And so she is trying to convince them to take the handcuffs off us. And in my brain, I'm like, yes, please convince them to take them off of us because I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. And when they take them off of us and they got us in this room, I am going to wear you out. I am going to wear you out. That's all I could think about. I was just sitting there like, please listen to her. And he can't, the not the officer, but the principal came into the office and said, "Have y'all calmed down?" Because she started to complain. It started. I could tell it started to be annoying to him that she kept on telling him to come in there and blah blah blah. Blah. And but he sees me over there like this, and he asked me, "Can you? Are y'all reasonable? Something about are y'all reasonable? Are y'all blah 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 blah? Are y'all you know?" Y'all ready to talk this out and stop acting like animals and fighting, and then he gets to asking us all of that, and I say, yeah. I was not. As soon as he takes these handcuffs off, I am going to try to wear her out. And it's like an hour later. So this is any normal person would be calm, but no, I am boiling on the inside. If it was a cartoon, you will see steam and waves of heat coming out of my head. You will see steam. And this is what on the inside I am boiling, but I am very good and controlled. I've always been able to do that where my emotions could be all over the place, but my physical self is controlled. So maybe like he goes and talk to somebody, but he comes back in and he takes her handcuffs off. And then she's chilling. And then he comes and take mines. And I sit and I just sit and chill because I know he's gonna leave. And when he leaves, I reach over to his desk and grab the metal envelope opener and go over to her and say, and wear her. Don't kill her, but I was just weak. I just couldn't get her the way I wanted to get her, but I got her. He comes into the office. She's screaming and bleeding. And he says, "Oh, you out of here. You are never going to come back to this school." All right. Because at this point, I don't care. She's bleeding. They call the ambulance. They call the ambulance. They call juvenile now because they weren't going to call juvenile. They were just going to suspend us. But now that it has been blood, even though she was already bleeding, but he made it seem like because of the because of the weapon. He was like, now you, it wasn't just a hand. It just wasn't a hand fight. It was like a whole weapon shit. And then now the way the adults were talking, it actually can be a liability, like because he let us out of our handcuffs in his office alone. So me stabbing her, actually, you can be liable for this. Because why would you, they just got in a fight. Why would you, because this is the way they was, why would you let them just be alone in the room together and they just got in a fight? It just, that's the way they were talking, like it was some kind of liability situation. So wore her out, wore me out because baby, they expelled me. Now, in this time at the IPS, Indianapolis Public School System, this is when they had either, it had been like either that year or the year before. I can't remember when they changed it, but we had a test called the I-Step test. And it was basically everybody had it in I don't want to say everybody because I don't know, but I think everybody in the country had these kind of versions of this to where you had to, they had to take we had to take statewide tests. Did y'all have that where you had to take statewide tests? We had I-Step in Fort Wayne. Yeah. So we had to, I-Steps didn't used to be mandatory. Yeah, we had FCATs. Yes. I think we all, every state had it. I think it was a thing where every state had a version of this. Right. So in Indiana, it was I-Step. And so it used to be just like an evaluation, but it started to be something that you had to take in order for you to pass to the next grade. It started to be standard, like you had to do it instead of it being kind of like just evaluation. So in order for me to graduate 8th grade, I needed to take the I-Step. And when I got in a fight with her, the I-Step was either the next 2 weeks or the next week. And so if I didn't pass it, I would have got held back and wouldn't have been able to go to high school. Yeah, every state had a same. Yeah, I think every state had it. So yes. So they done expelled me. I didn't get any charges brought on me because remember, I told you I had just got into a group home. And so there is the courts. I was already entangled in the courts with Chins, and Chins is CH I can't remember. It's called Chins. That's the acronym. But it's something about children. Ty, do you remember what Chin stood for? Because I think we both was Chins. What was Chins? I can't remember what Chin stood for. Something about children, something neglect or something, children incarcerated for neglect, or I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. It was called Chins though. That's the short. So because, and it's basically a system of court to where you awarded a state. You are you get what I'm saying? It's a special, instead of you being children in need of services. Is that what it was called? Anyway, you awarded a state and you ain't got in trouble. Your parents went to prison or something. Like it's a program that's within the court system. And so because I was already in Chins, I'm already in the juvenile court system. Do y'all see what I'm saying? Not because I'm a behavioral something happened, just because of my mom going to prison and I become a ward of state. I'm already in the system. So when we go to court, so when we go to court, the my case manager has to be there, and he comes in talking about like, yo, we already know that this has been not that I've been an issue, but basically, yo, they already in the court system, so we don't really need to do nothing. So I don't really get in trouble for real based on the court. So ain't no any charges that could have came, they didn't charge me with nothing, basically. Because my case manager basically said, like, I'm already in, because while I'm not in the prison, like a jail for kids, all of this is the incarceral system. Understand that. All of this is the court system. This is it. These group homes, whether it be boys school, because we had a boy and girl school where it was more like a jail. And then you had jail. So all of this is connected by the court. So it ain't like I'm not in the system already. So anyway, so I don't get in trouble in regards to that, but they do expel me. I cannot go back to Shortridge because I went to Shortridge, Indianapolis. So, which is a high school now. I heard it was a junior high, but it's back. It was a high school, then it went to junior high when I was growing up, and then I guess it's back to a high school now. Anyway, so now they kick me out, and I got to go to this school, this alternative school called Roberts. Now Roberts is downtown. I actually loved Roberts. Roberts was fire. Y'all remember? So you can play the little game we play, where you go hide and let me seek. Let me be the one to make you weak. 702 and Subway. This is that time when that song was popular because I got to sing that song in the Roberts Talent Show. 702 and Subway. So that song. So this is around that time that I was at Roberts. So I don't know if like it had either just came out or it came out while I was there, but it was I had to do the rest of my school year at Roberts. So I had this at the group home, there was this white lady. Her name was Samantha Andros. She was a 20-something-year-old teacher. And this is one of those kind of weird moments of my life where a white woman came and saved me. And this is not the only time though. Where a white woman came and fought for me, came and saved me in a situation that she really didn't have to do it, but she did. It's a couple of times that this has happened where a young those young progressive white girls, like when they're in their early 20s, they feminists, they are real progressive, they're usually young teachers. This is one of them ones. This is one of them teachers. And she went to the school and really fought for her to be able. I remember the story of you meeting the 702 girls. Yeah, so this is all around that time. I met the 702 girls during probably like 2 years later during their "Where My Girls At" for the front to back. Well, is you feeling that? Put one hand up. Could you repeat that? During that era. I think that was like 2 years later. Um, so Samantha Andrews, Sam really went to the school and fought hard. StarQuest time, yes, and fought hard. I had a teacher like that in the 90s. Her name was Miss Garcia. Um, so she tried to save me, and save me in the sense of she did not want me to not get she did not want me to not take the I step, because if I wouldn't have took the I step, I wouldn't have been able to go to high school. And so all this year in which I had made good grades, it would have been a waste, and this would have just set me back, and I would have to do 10th grade, 8th grade over. And so Sam really fought for me to because I hadn't got accepted to Roberts yet, and they were taking the I step, and it would have been over by the time they were able to allow me into Roberts to finish the rest of my school year. But the school that I got in a fight at wasn't allowing me to come back to the school. So it was all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So, but because she's a teacher, she was able to convince them to let her administer the test to me at home. So while I'm expelled, she can give me the test and submit it, and then I will have the requirements to go to high school. So she did convince them to let me take the test. Um and we took the test and I passed it. Took the test and I passed it and I got accepted to Roberts, so I finished my school year in Roberts Academy. Um And so, yeah, so I finished my 8th grade year and I was able to go to high school. And then that summer is when I said, "Oh, I'm about to be the girl." And so that's when I was like, "Yes, I'm gonna be Fish." And started, slowly queering it up. So I say all of that to say this. If I was stronger, not even necessarily stronger, if I had hit her in the right place, I could have. Was Roberts a preparatory school? No, it was an alternative school for people who got expelled. um, so if I was stronger or if I would have got her in the right place, I could have killed her because it was a metal envelope opener, which was like a knife. It was if it was sharper, um, it did cut her, but I felt like if it had been a more um if it was sharper and I hit her in the right spot and I hit her harder, I felt like it could have killed her. And I would have been like Tremelo. Camelo. Is that his name? Not Tremelo. Camelo. And I could have been in a situation where I harmed somebody because they were bullying me and it escalated. And I wouldn't say it was the knife part, or I wouldn't say anything of it was self-defense, but they were bullying me. You calling me faggots, calling me all kinds of stuff. My rage just went out the roof. And so it could have been a situation where at a young age, very, very young age, I was enraged and I harmed somebody. And it could have changed the trajectory of my life. I could have literally went to prison, got charged as an adult, went to prison, and none of the things of the accomplishments that I had in my life, which happened after this moment, all of them, I never would have been able to do. Every single thing that I think of as accomplishment for myself, I never would have been able to do. And I am not the same person who I am at 44 as I was at 12, 13. And so I always think about that when teenagers or kids are in situations that are kind of changing the trajectory of their life. And I'm like, yo, that could have really changed my life. And there's been multiple times in my life that this happened. I remember when I was a sex worker years later in my 20s, and I was you know, and I got into it with the client and I had to shoot him. If he had died, I could have been imprisoned. And so when I think about that moment and I'm hearing about the situation with these kids and the way it's described, like he's like it felt like these twin boys was bullying him or trying to punk him out of his seat. But all the fun folks went to Roberts, and my first trade boyfriend Tyrese was there. Also, why is Sam still in the clinical therapy work all these years later? Yeah, I've talked to Sam. Sam is cool as hell. She got into teacher. She was a teacher too. I'm friends with her daughter on Facebook. Um, I'm friends with her too on Facebook. um, that's why I have avoided so many altercations in life because I know I'm crazy and will go all the way there. Yeah, it's certain it gets you can get me to a certain point where yeah, I'm just gonna go nuts on you. That's just what it is. And I'm still that. I can't say that I've matured out of that. I've matured in a way that gets me out of the situation. Like if I feel that tick that I was feeling, that doot, 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 what the maturity that has came as I gotten older is when I feel that going, I leave. I leave because I know if I stay there, it's gonna get out of control. If I feel that coming, doop, I need to get out of the space. If I get out of the space, I can control it. But if I'm in a situation where I'm forced in the situation, I don't have no control over it. I just don't. I just really don't. Which is I was telling I be telling people about I think I tell people that about kids. The When it comes to kids, I feel like one of the reasons why it is not a good idea for me to have children is I feel like kids are a potential prison trap because let me find out that you are bullying my kids. Ain't no way I'm not gonna come up to that school and do something crazy that an adult shouldn't do. Let me find out that you done touched my child in any kind of way that I think is inappropriate. I'm going to prison because I'm wearing you out. Like I am not one of them people about that thinks that people should call the police about their fucking kids. Like I am not one of them people. If my child come and tell me that you done molested them, ain't no ain't no calling no police. No, I am wearing you out. Like I just can't see me saying I'm calling the police and and letting them handle it and get the chance for you to get out. All that shit, no. I feel like that me having a child will make me so vulnerable to stuff because I am never going to. But then that puts me in a situation where now I can't even protect my kid because I'm in fucking prison from protecting them from this pedophile. Now my kids is out and somebody could be doing something to them. So it just puts me in a situation. I just don't think I'm mature enough for children. Like, because I'm not letting you get away with doing something to my kids. I might, if I, the bully situation, I might not like harm you. If you're an adult, I'm harming you. But if you their age, I ain't gonna let you fucking bully my kids, running my kids home from school or bullying them or hitting them. Mm-mm. Oh no. Mm-mm. I'ma catch your ass. I'ma catch your ass. I'm gonna get you. You gonna learn since your parents ain't teaching you not to be a bully, you are going to learn to not be a bully by this parent. And then you can go tell your parents and I'll fight them. That's just how I think. Like, yeah, tell your parents that I hemmed your ass up and have them come because I want to get up in their ass for not teaching you how to not bully my child. Go get your mama. Go get your daddy. So I just feel like this potential of conflict just doesn't work well with me. And I feel like one of the reasons why kids, I just wouldn't be good with kids. Same. I scare myself when I get upset. I go into panic mode. Yeah, I call it fear mode because I fight everybody. Even if I think I can beat you, I fight in fear. Um, I feel like a lot of us are like that from enduring being bullied growing up from family to school to people in the neighborhood. Saying my aunt hemmed up a boy who was bullying my cousin on the school bus. Yes, I will wear. Yes, no, and go get your mama and tell her I did it, so I can hem her ass up too. Police, I am the police when it comes to my child. Yes, period. You just gotta do it low key. Yeah, I can't imagine being a parent and finding out that somebody molested my child. I'm going to prison. Yeah. Yeah, y'all better had arrested him before I found out. Yeah. Because I'm not going to no police. You out of here. You up out of here. My sister got patted by one of the male teachers. My dad found out and came paddled by one of the male teachers. My dad found out and came to that school with her shirt off saying, I just want to talk to him. Period. My stepdad did that to my fourth grade teacher. He was making fun of me and how feminine I talked. And I came and told my stepdad, and my stepdad went up to that school and asked him to come out and talk to him in the hallway. It was just me, him, and my teacher. Rakim's dad, my youngest brother's dad. It was just me, him, and the teacher. And he just came up there like it was like a normal day. Like, hey, can I talk to you? Can I talk to you outside? He didn't even come and be aggressive initially. He just was like, hey, can I talk to you outside? And I come out and he comes out and we in the hallway, baby. Rob, his name was Rob. Rob took his jacket off. He did it all. He was like, hey, he talking to him all calm. Rob took his jacket off and him, that white boy, up by his neck up against the wall. And he was like, this is my motherfucking son. And if you making him uncomfortable at school while he trying to get his lesson and you making fun of him, I don't think that's the right fucking thing for a teacher to do. And so I want you to know that I'm a man. And I will come back up to this motherfucker and harm you if you keep making my son feel like shit while he working in your fucking class. Now, mind you, I'm feeling love because my stepdad is vindicating me. Now, what I don't know is this is really just Rob in one of his cracked out manic episodes of being a crackhead. And we just so happen to be in the situation where he hires a kite and not thinking reasonably. But me as a fourth grader, I'm like, yay, that's what you get. And his name was Mr. Bowen. Mr. Bowen said, Mr. Bowen did not call the police or nothing. He didn't call the police or nothing, but he also did not bother me no more. While while I was at this school and I was in his class, he did not bother me anymore. None, never again. And I think Mr. Bowen was gay. Now that I'm older, I think Mr. Bowen was just a gay white boy. And I didn't think I think this moment made him understand what he done to me as a gay kid. But I don't think he was intentionally doing it. He just didn't know. Because what happened was, I think I told y'all about this. What happened was I was in class and he was making me and he was basically, I was excited about answering the question. And the answer to the question was 10. And I said 10. And to me, I'm just saying it regular, but in Boston, Massachusetts, it sounds country to them. So he says 10. He repeats what I say back and laughs about it, and all the students laugh. And this is when in living color, snap in the Z formation. So him saying 10, and he's a gay white boy saying it like that, I think to him, I don't think he was trying to ridicule me. I think he was trying to, I don't know. I don't think he intentionally was doing it. I think he just was like 10. And baby, all the other students started laughing about it and started doing it. And for me, as a fourth grader, I'm sitting there like, I think I was like 10. I'm sitting there like ashamed because now you got everybody saying that. And so for the rest of those, like, this happened like 2 weeks before. For the rest of that 2 weeks, I was not raising my hand to say nothing, baby. Because I'm 10 and this is when it's already given. This is that beginning stages of motherfuckers trying to clock your T, being gay. So baby, I was like, immediately gave me shame. And I wasn't doing my homework, and then and I told my stepdad, and my my stepdad, I told my stepdad what happened. And he was like, "Oh no." Not knowing that he just had hit some crack. And we was walking distance from the school. So this nigga just had hit some crack, baby. And he said, "Come on." And we walked to the school. Yeah, I love Bobo. But yeah, that was a interesting moment for me in regards to my stepdad stepping up for me. But yeah, if y'all don't know, we don't know all the details yet, but there's a young man. I think his name is Carmelo Anthony. Of course, he was named after the Boston basketball player. He's in high school and he was at some kind of track meet, and he was at some kind of track meet, and these two boys come up to him about sitting. He under the wrong tent or something, and they try to move his seat. Um, and the boy told him, "Yo, if you touch me, I'm gonna fuck your ass up." You got twin, and they're the dudes that's bullying him is two twin brothers. And he like, "Yo, if you try to touch me, baby, I'm gonna wear you out." And honey, he tried to come over there and snatch his book bag, snatch him like away from the little, to get him to move away from the little tent. And baby, he snatched his bag back and got in his bag and got his little knife out and doop, stabbed him in his chest. And he had to die in his brother's arms, baby. And so they locked him up, and he was like, "Yo, honey, this was self-defense. These niggas was trying to come at me, doing too much." Let me see if I find the link for you. All right, let's read it. I want to read what it says. What is going on here? All right, so police report revealed that Karmelo Anthony allegedly said after stabbing the student that was he okay. Anyway, witness to the stabbing that led to the death of Frisco ISA student this week told police the victim and suspect didn't know each other, according to the arrest report obtained by CBS News Texas. The incident happened around 10 a.m. at Kirkendall Stadium in on Wednesday. According to the Frisco Police Department, my eyes is wearing me out. The altercation was between two students and resulted in one stabbing the other. The suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, is in police custody and has been charged with murder. His bond was set at $1 million. The victim, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf, was taken to a local hospital and pronounced dead minutes after arriving, according to the affidavit. One witness told an officer that they were sitting with Metcalf under the school tent during a track meet at the stadium when someone they didn't know, identified as Anthony, came over to them. The witness said that Metcalf told Anthony to leave the tent when Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and said, "Touch me and see what happens." The police department said no one thought Anthony had a weapon. One witness said Metcalf touched Anthony, and another said Metcalf grabbed Anthony. Anthony then pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf once in the chest before running away, according to the police. At that point, Metcalf grabbed his chest, told everyone to get help, and told everyone to get help. Police said that when they arrived at the scene, Metcalf wasn't conscious of breathing. Athlete trainers were performing CPR. Another officer spoke to two witnesses, one being the victim's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf. The officer said they were both hysterical and couldn't speak to police. "My other son, who was there, I was holding his hand on the hole trying to save his life. Holding his hand on the hole trying to save his life. He told me, I looked at him and his eyes were gone. He wasn't breathing." Karmelo Anthony asked one of the police officers if he was okay. Another officer said that Anthony complied with them and said he was protecting himself, according to the affidavit. Once the officer said, "I have the alleged suspect in custody," Anthony told the officer, "I am not alleged. I did it." He also told police that Metcalf put his hands on him after he told him not to. While he was in the police vehicle, the officer reported that Anthony said if Metcalf was going to be okay, and if what happened could be considered self-defense. Listen, for me, it sounds like old boy was trying to be a tough guy. And it's not abnormal for another track person to be for anybody to be under a tent for a school track tent. So him trying to make him leave the tent probably was him trying to be a tough guy. Like, "Oh, you get off and under our tent." And Karmelo is like, "Yo, bro, don't make no threats. Like, nigga, leave me alone." Cause we know if you touch me, anybody who in our culture know when you do that, we warning you. Like, you put your hands on me, I'm gonna let you know. Mm-hmm. And I do think it's one of those moments, those fuck around and found out moments. Like, yo, Don't fucking touch me. And it's not just you, it's you and your brother here. So you really feeling tough? Mm-mm. Oh, for sure. You know it's gonna have a racial aspect to it. But luckily it was tons of witnesses that are giving details about what happened. Now, I'm not saying that people deserve to die, but listen, you don't know what people are gonna do when you trying them. You don't know when you doing too much. Everybody ain't the type of person to let you play with them. Just it's just everybody ain't that person. And one thing about me, and I don't know if y'all like this, but for me, I'm the type of person that don't try to get no. When I was younger, I used to call it like street cred. Don't try to get no street cred points on me. Like you trying to make me the butt of the joke. You trying to punk me so people can think you hard. Don't try to do that to me. Do that to somebody else because you gon' with me. How I think about it is you gonna have to earn these points, baby. Like if you trying to get some I'm big and bad points off of me, you gonna have to earn them. It ain't gonna be you push me up against a locker and I'm gonna just do nothing, bitch. Come on, show me you earn to beat my ass so you earn these points. Since you tough, since you tough, you gotta show me you tough. You can't just say it. Beat me up. I want you to beat me up. I want you to show me you willing to fight because a lot of people don't really want to fight. They want to act like they tough and get like the points of, ooh, yeah, they tough. No, you have to fight. I want you to fight me. You got to, if you're going to get some points off of me, you got to earn them. Come on. Earn these points. Say, don't say you going to beat my ass. Do it so that when the points that you get, you earned it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of them people you can't I don't like that. Don't try to get no fucking points off of me, bitch. You gonna earn it. You gonna earn it. That's just what in my brain. That's what I feel like you supposed to do. Earn these points. We can't play the dozens too much. The parents of Carmelo have not, but the parents of the bully has. He says that he forgives him. Forgiveness is about him. Is about I don't know. You have to watch it. I don't care about them people. But he says he forgives him already. I don't think the other parents is that, but because we are in Texas and we're in this heightened racialized situation, I think it's gonna get politicized. I think it's gonna grow. I think it's gonna be a big deal. So I don't know what's gonna happen. But yes, that's what's going on. If you are watching, make sure you thumbs up. It is 42 people in here, and only 29 of y'all has thumbs up. What's going on? All right, we jumped up to 30. What else? We jumped up to 32. All right, so what else did I want to talk about? Um, my friend's brother almost did this to a bully. He's been institutionalized for 20 years. He didn't even get to harm the person, just had the knife. Did he stab him or didn't even get to stab him? They just threw the book at him. Because I've seen that situation too. Do you think you will ever write a memoir? Do I think I ever write a memoir? Yes, I do. Cassandra, it is called The Love Beneath. It is not out yet, but it will be. I already know what it's called because I've already written it. I'm in the editing stages right now. But yeah, the book is called The Love Beneath. If you want to see the early chapters of the book, you can listen to the videos on a playlist here on YouTube called The Love Beneath. That is basically the introduction to my book. It gives you the foundation of what I'm going to be talking about in the book. It's one of my most popular series here on YouTube. But yes, I think it's like 20 parts. And then once that gets done, I am going to do a book about my escort days in my 20s, and my love life navigating sex work and love, called The Love Within. And then I'm going to do a book called The Love Beyond, about my relationship to loving my community and documenting my activism and moments of activism in my 30s. I'm living my 40s, so I don't know what my 40s book is going to be about. But so basically, my first book is going to be about my earlier years and my teen years. And my second book is going to be about my 20s. And then my third book is going to be about my 30s. And then my fourth book, if I even make one, is going to be about my 40s. I've already started these books. I've already started. The one that's finished is The Love Beneath, the main one, the first one. The ones that I'm starting, that I've already started, I'm not finished with them, but I've started them. My stories. So but y'all already got like um a precursor to the book. My second book is going to be called The Tricks of the Trade. And if you are one of my members, you know I have a series called The Tricks of the Trade Behind the Paywall. And that is what I'm going to be talking about in my third book. Except I'm going to also include not just my sex worker life, but it's going to be include how my romantic life was being navigated within the time that I was a sex worker. So all of my 20s. So from 20 to 30. Because well, really from like 21 to 31, but let's just say 20s, 20 to 31. Um, because 31 was when I stopped. Well, 31, 30 is when I stopped sex work. Early 30s when I stopped sex work. And then my 30s is when I started actively being an activist. So that's about loving community and the ups and downs with community. So that book is going to be about that. So yes, that's my vision. That's the vision of what I got going on, just so y'all know. But yes, the tricks of the trade, baby. The tricks of the trade is going to be the messy one. That is going to be where I'm talking about my nasty gutter bucket hoe days. If life gave medals, you have a full stack. Will the books be on Amazon? I haven't decided. Another element of why my book is not out is my publisher. So let me I don't be wanting to talk about it, y'all, because I'm trying to uh it's so much stuff going on. So my book was supposed to come out February 14th because it's called The Love Beneath. Oh, duh. February 14th, 2023. That's when my book was supposed to come out. Right before my birthday on on Valentine's Day. The Love Beneath. Duh. So my publisher, we went on a trip. We both went on a trip. Like we were supposed to come back. I think this might be, when did I go to Egypt? Did I go to Egypt on the 2020 in 2023? I can't remember. No, then it had to be 2022. Yeah. So all right. So yes, it was supposed to be February 2023. But remember, 2022 is I went to Egypt. So during this time, so I went to Egypt on the 16th of went to Egypt on the 16th of December 2022. So she, my publisher, my agent, she we have been working on it all of 2020, all the way to 2022. So 2 years we have been working on it, like working on, you know, hold on, let me see if I can show y'all. I think I showed y'all the cover. Have I showed you didn't I show y'all the cover already? I thought I showed y'all the cover. Yeah, I think I showed y'all the cover. Yay. I love this. So I reason why I did this is because I wanted it to be sexy, but I wanted to look like a road. I wanted it to look like the road and the sun, like a road going through life, but my face and my boobs, honey. I want it to be so I love it. I love it. So I designed it, loved the picture, loved everything about it. And we worked on everything. We worked on because the book was inspired by my YouTube thing. Um the book has this is gonna gag y'all. The book has some of the commentary from my YouTube videos in the book. And so, like, if any one of y'all commented on the Love Beneath series, I use those comments to answer questions with to have deeper conversations about a story in the book. And so it starts off telling the story just in detail, and then after that it shows images of some of the comments that's on the videos, questions, clarity, whatever the comment that I found that was interesting that can start the conversation. And then I went into detail about answering the question or giving a more just an in-depth conversation about whatever the question was about the story. And so it just made it's just fucking unique. It's a fucking it's fucking unique. It not only tells my story, but it also archives my YouTube journey with the people who have been fucking with me on YouTube for a while. So it's just a bunch of stuff that's just involved in this book that I have never seen in a book from other people. Like, who got fucking their YouTube people in their book talking back to them? Nobody has it. I haven't seen that before. So that's sickening to me. So literally take pictures of comments on different videos if it's because there's some stories that I haven't told that's in there. And so yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. So it's sickening. It's gonna be dope. I love it. And so anyway, let me tell you what happened. So we had this whole plan. We have been planning it. Da 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 da. So I go to Egypt and she goes to Hawaii on a cruise because she lives in Canada. And she's an old silver-haired, beautiful woman. Um, she's been married to a black man for decades. They're like in their 70s. And and it's her and her daughter that's kind of running the business. And we spend 2 years talking and having fun and just learning each other and being friends and all this kind of stuff. So it's just so dope. She's just a good woman, just a good friend and woman. And so she goes on the cruise with her husband. All of them are in great health. Everything's blah 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 blah. Her husband has an accident on the cruise, and he falls and hits his head on the cruise, and he is bedridden for the whole cruise. And then when they come back, he goes to get an MRI, and whatever happened, it it damages the part of his brain that controls your emotions. And so his brain starts to he he just starts to be like a whole different person in the house. Like, you know how dementia kind of slowly deteriorates somebody who's old brain? That starts to happen to him, but it started to be super, super rapid. Like there's some kind of damage happened to his brain to where he can't go to work. He is just a whole different man, not the man she married. Like it does some kind of damage to the his certain parts of his brain. So since 2022, he has deteriorated to the point to where they had to get a live-in person, and they had to get a live-in assistant, and it just has getting worse and worse and worse. So now at this point in their situation, he is like ready to like die because of how it has deteriorated who he is. And so it has literally shifted her life. And so her daughter, who was also a part of our situation, her daughter contacted me um last year, at the end of last year, and she contacted me and was like, "Diamond, we have been holding you up for this long because of what was going on with my mom, and we don't think it's fair for you not to be able to If you're ready to release it, I was not ready to release it. But if you're ready to release it, we don't want to hold you up. So we're going to take you out of the contract that we have. But you keep everything you have gotten so far. We're not going to hold it because it's your story. It's you wrote it. We didn't write it for you. You wrote it. You designed it. You did everything. Because basically what they were going to do was just help me do the part of the getting it out, investing in, giving me the money to do the tour, giving me the money to, you get what I'm saying? Of course, they get percentage, because that's the part that I don't want to do. Because I don't have the funds for that. But but she says we don't want to lock you into a contract, so we're gonna void out the contract and just let you do what you want to do. So if you want to find somebody else to publish it, da 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 da. And so that's where we are, like, right now. It's about, do I want to go with somebody else, or do I want to wait her situation out? Because I do really like her. I really like her, and she helped me. She helped me so much with my process. She just helped me so much. So I don't know if I want to wait it out, or it depends on when I get finished with the edits. But that is one of the big things that has happened. Just her having the issue with her husband, and then the contract not being, me getting out of the contract, um, and me trying to decide how I want to go about doing it. So that's what's kind of where I'm at with it. But yes, that's the tea. That's the tea with the book. So it's a lot going on. But yes, 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 yes. Oh, let me see. I wanted to talk about this. Girl, come on. Oh, yeah. Just switch it up. All right. So, y'all ready? Let's listen.
They realised it was a very bad idea.
Okay.
A few years ago, presumably before they realised it was a very bad idea, OkCupid, the dating website, were completely honest about the fact that they were experimenting on their customers. One of them even wrote a book about the things that they've discovered. And perhaps one of my favourite findings is that they use the data from their website to work out how old people liked their partners to be. So if you take a woman who is 25 years old, how old are the men that she is finding most attractive? And you can draw this in a graph. So from top to bottom, you've got the woman's age, and along the top, you've got the man's age that she finds most attractive. If it was perfect, they only wanted people who were their age, you would have these numbers sitting perfectly along the diagonal. But actually, women prefer somebody who's slightly older when they are young, and somebody who's slightly younger when they are old. But broadly speaking, the age of the men that women find most attractive changes as they themselves age. That's not the case when it comes to the same graph for how men look at women. Strange. See if you can spot the difference. Okay, so this is women and men. Yeah. And that's men and women, just straight down. 47-year-old men think that 20-year-old women are the most. I mean, guys. A few years ago.
All right. So
realized it was a very bad idea.
I saw that. I saw the study that OkCupid did, and I found it so interesting. But what she's showing you that throughout the line, when it comes to women, usually women are finding men attractive that is usually around their age. That's usually normal for women. It kind of, like she said, it goes down to diagonally. Slightly older when they're younger, slightly younger when they're older. Okay, so but usually across the board, women like people their age. Okay, but men of all ages kept staying the same. If when they're in their 20s, they still like people in their 20s. When they're in their 30s, they like people in their 20s. When they're in their 40s, they like people in their 20s. When they're in their 50s, they like people in their 20s. So it all is 20, 20, 20. So it's all young when it comes to men. I thought that was super, super interesting. And I said, and my thing is this: when it comes to attraction, and I want to ask y'all this. So now that that data is there, okay, we got this data. When it comes to attraction, you can't really change how people feel about what they're attracted. You can make it all political. You can be all, you can colorism, racism, beauty standard. You can give all these theories and all that. It still ain't gonna stop them. It's still not gonna stop niggas from preferring whatever they prefer. They're gonna be in the comments talking about a preference is a preference. It's just preference. They're not gonna do the deep dive, and even if they know and agree with the deep dive of why they like this type of thing, it doesn't change how their eyes interact with what they like. Let me put myself on the block. I like dark-skinned men because they're masculine to me. It's something about our contrast that we go together. What does that say about colorism? I know how all of that shit works, but it still don't stop me from seeing a dark skinned fine ass nigga and be like, damn, I want him. It don't stop it. I know how that attraction works within the colorist dynamic. But and I'm actively working on how I engage with colorism within myself and in the world. But it doesn't stop that when I see this chocolate dread head, the blood don't start flowing. Do you see what I'm saying? It don't stop it. I don't know how to stop that. That's what I like. That's what I have liked all my life. Even in women, I like dark skinned women. Like if I'm seeing a girl that I'm like, ooh, if you fine, it is going to be a dark skinned woman. That's just what it is. And so my question was, okay, and my question to y'all is, it sounds like this is not going to change. We can't really change this. So with this information, what should women do in response to knowing this information? Like, okay, men like younger women. What are we supposed to do as we get older? What are we supposed to do? I I don't give a fuck about what niggas like. I'm somebody who I've navigated the world how I am, and I have seen a shift in how younger men engage with me, but I have not seen a shift in how men my age engage with me. Now, I might can't pull no young boy, no 20 something. They probably looking at me like auntie. But somebody my age, they still be trying to holler at me. So I've never been in a situation where men my same age, when I was 30, when I was 20, men my same age, they still try to talk to me. So what am I supposed to do? How does this information help women? How does it help us? Get you one of them young YNs to break the back and every now and then. Yeah, I have young dudes try to holler at me, but I'm a little bit more attracted to older men. So young dudes, when you see him, you're like, oh, he fine. His young little stuff is fine. But they be fucking stupid and broke. And something about stupid and broke just it turns me off. And so I'm usually attracted to an older, more mature, intelligent nigga with money. So I don't really be. I don't really be into young boys. And I'm definitely not becoming a sugar mama because I don't like giving my money to no man. So I'm not attracted to young men. So I'm not. I want to be treated like a sugar baby, honey. So I'm usually gonna be. I'm gonna like somebody older, somebody in their 50s. Somebody. I love me a sugar fox, a silver fox. I love me those gray haired dudes with the little beards, and that's in their late 40s, early 50s. Baby, listen, that is my type. I like that. That is my type. Long as you still got a body you got going on, you can even have like a little dad bod. I like that. Long as your piece still work. My little old silver fox, he all gray. He beard gray, hair gray, he got waves in his head, be getting lined up, fine as hell. Piece don't ever not work. Dick be rock hard and ready. And he always got some coins for me when I need some coins from him. He always is on it. That's just what it is. So I'm not saying I see young boys and I'm like, I'm turned off. No, they look nice. Like in regards to how they look, I look nice. I mean, they look nice. I can see him and be like, damn, he fine. Fine little young man. But every time I talk to them, they are fucking stupid. It's very rare that I meet a young boy that can match wits with me. And so that is a turnoff. It has always been. Even when I was younger, it's kind of turn off. And so unless it's just like a quick wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Come on, pull that big old dick out. Let's have it. But us sitting talking and trying to grow, yeah, no. I've always been attracted to men 15 to 20 years older than me. I need the old niggas, 50 plus. You would need someone at the same economic level or better. The youngins ain't gonna cut it. Yeah. Yeah, I need that. I would I was like that I was like that in my late 20s. Baby, as soon as I see salt and pepper beard, my coochie get to purring. You're right. I love older, but I have daddy issues. Work. I don't know how this helps us. Young women have caught on to their games. They are not getting stuck with these immature men. Sometimes, just sometimes, I feel like, what is that? What is that, a pumpkin? What is that symbol? A acorn? I don't even know what that symbol is. What is that? A nut. Sometimes I feel like a nut. Oh, is that a nut? I really can't tell what that is. It looked like a pumpkin and it kind of looked like an acorn too. I gave a young dude a chance once and he started talking about making it big on Twitch, being a life goal, and I had to end it. Child, listen. Listen, bitch. Let me tell you, baby, that exactly that. Because, baby, listen, that maxes me out so fast, maxed out. I will be done. The rappers, the anything like that that's like ridiculous. I'm like, what? Then he gotta go. I am consistent with if you are not growing, you get left behind. If you're not growing, yeah. I like older man. Yeah, I don't know why they made that emoji like that. Nigga be cute until they open their mouths. Yes, facts. The rappers are fun for one night and that's it, period. Um, but at least when you young, I understand it because you young. The worst are old niggas. Nigga, you above 35 and you still trying to be a rapper. If you don't get your ass out of my face, get out of my face. Get out of my face. And Brandon, it I kind of understand it. When you're young, I understand it. I think you should have that kind of, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, doe-eyed dreamer mindset. I get it, but I'm not spending my time trying to convince you. Cause could when y'all was dreaming y'all dreams when y'all was young, could they convince y'all? No. You can't really convince young people to be kind of more reasonable in that regard. You reach 30, it's time to pick up a trade. Yes. Especially if you ain't already got a degree. Like, I think one of the recent conversations that people are talking about is why Black men are not going to college, because they are the gender gap of college is really, really wide. Like, black out of all the races, there are many Black men that are not opting into college. And people are like, oh, college doesn't matter. Oh, you can get you're going back to old school and getting a trade. And listen, while you can have opportunities and have a stable life with somebody with getting a trade, with this economy, I don't know. But still, statistically, people with degrees make more money. Statistically, even to this day, even with the value of a degree going down, people with degrees make more money. There's more opportunity. And so, and the two indicators of wealth is education, education and marriage. Two of strong indicators of growing your wealth is education and marriage. There's other ones, but the key indicators, education and marriage. That still is one of the easiest way to build your wealth, because two incomes is better than one, and education gives you more opportunity. And I think when you're married to somebody, it also gives you a certain level of accountability, like in regards, not all the time, but in general, we talk about in general. In general, if you have somebody sitting there watching you and how you spending your money, you make better decisions. Going back to school is always a valid option. Absolutely. I regret not finishing college now, going back to my first bachelor's in physics. Yeah, Andre, go get it. Go do your thing. I was thinking about going for my doctorate, but I'm just not. I don't think I got the patience to be studious no more. Cause I'm real cool with the professors at U of H and TSU and Texas Southern, and I could easily get into a PhD program, but I'm just I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna do it. I don't wanna do that. No. You never to get too old for educational degree. Yes. It opens up doors and you're able to negotiate better salaries. Even at a bullshit job, I was able to get every even at Bath and Body Works, because I had a degree while I was there. Every time I was up for negotiations, I was able to negotiate $2,000 more because I was degreed, just based on their own algorithm of how they determine what gives you more money. Like, their HR department has an algorithm of what determines to give you more money. So the box of having a degree was always checked. So it was able to give me $2,000 more each time that I was navigating getting a raise. So even at lower level, I don't want to say lower level, but I don't know, what are those kind of jobs called? Not lower level. That don't sound good. Whatever those kind of jobs called. You feel what I'm saying? You still can negotiate a better pay rate with a degree. Also, like if you military entry level jobs, yes. Even if you're military, like my brother, because he already had a degree, he was able to get in the military with a ranking already. Like I don't know, if y'all military, please explain it to me. So because he had a degree, he didn't have to start here. He already was able to be was it a he didn't have to be a private. He could already, I don't know what the rank is, but he came in already with a rank because he had a degree. Does that make sense? Like he didn't have to I can't remember what it's called, but that's like, yeah, even the degree benefits you in jobs like that. It's just always a good look. It's always a good look to negotiate when you are when you are even with like AI, when they are searching for, when because people are using AI, because some people are talking about ChatGPT and AI. People are using AI to filter through resumes now, instead of them using an actual person to go through resume and read them. They're actually filtering through them to pick the best candidates now with a fucking AI system, with a computer system. So in order for you to make it through that computer system, sometimes you need that degree to make sure you're one of the top ones. It works two ways. Either he's given an enlisted rank, or two extra if he was an enlisted man. Otherwise, a degree got him a shot at officer candidate school and training for commissioned officers. Yeah, he got a rank. I think it was like two ranks up. Like he was he came in with a rank. After, as soon as he got out of basic training, because he came into basic training with a degree, when he got out, he was already ranked because of it. Was already supervising motherfuckers. Gotta have them keywords in your resume. Yeah, that. Yes, child. So I say that I'm just not I'm not attracted to young boys no more. That don't mean I ain't gonna have them. If I meet a fine one and he's sexy and da 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 da, not young boys as in illegal. I like you to be 25. I like you to be fully developed. If you between 18 and 25, you have to be able to not, for me to have you at that age range, your maturity have to be so sickening that I can't detect it, which is really, really hard. It's really, really hard for somebody 18 to 25 to be so mature that I can't detect it. You got to have a lot going on. First of all, I require you to wine and dine me as a person who, I'm a woman, baby, and I like to be treated like a woman. So you being young, sometimes they don't know how to do that, especially this generation of young. So yeah, I'm old school, so I like a certain old school type of engagement. And so most young dudes don't do that. They don't do that. They'd be cute, but they don't be enough for me to be lusting after them. Child, I can't. Basically I couldn't be a Leonardo DiCaprio, just chasing after people under 25. That's so stupid. All right, y'all, gotta go. Thanks for the encouragement, everyone. Have a good night, darling. So yeah, I just, I don't know what the kids are doing.
A few years ago, Would you date someone who's plus size? No. And
Okay.
why not? Would you date someone who's plus size? No. And why not? Because why don't you just work out? Humongous or just like chubby? Someone the size of DJ Khaled? No. You would take DJ Khaled? Not him, but like, not him specifically, but like body, yeah. Would you date someone who's plus size? No. And why not? Because why don't you just work out? Humongous or just like chubby? Someone the size of DJ Khaled? No. You would take DJ Khaled? Not him, but like, not him specifically, but like body, yeah. Would you date someone who's plus size?
Okay.
No.
What y'all think about that? What's
Would
your
you
first
date someone-
thought? I'm not dealing with anyone under 34. My oldest nephew is 31 and my oldest niece is 19. The friends lying. Why you think the friends are lying? What do you mean? You think they're lying about what they would like? She is entitled to her opinion. I mean, she could have said it more eloquently, but I can't say she's wrong on what she's into. I only prefer to date plus size people. So that goes back to preference. My first thought was the person who was interviewing is bigger, so that must be difficult for them to have that kind of conversation. That was my first thought. My first thought was like, oh, but they're talking about she's asking the question. You can't ask people questions that you're not prepared or uncomfortable that you might be uncomfortable with their answer. Yeah, I couldn't date DJ Khaled. And fit him, period, because he don't do oral sex. I ain't got no vagina, but a dude telling me that they don't do oral sex, we done. So I couldn't date DJ Khaled in regards to that. But I also couldn't date him because physically he is not my type. My thick type of dude, the type of dude that I like that's thick, it is a certain type of thick. It still looks. You know how when we talk about thick girls, in the plus size community, they talk about this. It is a acceptable type of thick, and it's a different kind of thick. That's is an unacceptable kind of thick. If you still shape like a figure eight, like you got thick thighs, flat stomach, big old titties, you know what I'm saying? You gotta it's kind of that. It's kind of even distributed. You got a big booty, big thighs, but your stomach is small or smaller than the rest of it. People love that kind of big. People love that kind of big. But if you like the kind of big where your legs is small and you got tons of rolls right here and you wide or different levels of big that's not balanced. That's not balanced. So there's a different levels big. I have that kind of mindset with men's body too, where it's a certain kind of big. Like if you got thick thighs and a big booty and your back is still broad and arms is, doing it. I still can fuck with and got a little gut, but it ain't just I can fuck with you. I can deal with thick, but I can't deal with big, 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 big. Like Rick Rock's big would have been too big for me. DJ Khaled, he not built like I like. That's not my tea. But I don't talk down on them. Like they're just not my type, and I'm not gonna deal with them if I don't want to deal with them. A part of having consent is you get to decide who you deal with. Oh, why? Why not work out made me think about health and environment. I hate when people say why not work out, because working out is not just everybody ain't big just because they don't work out. some people have different conditions that lends itself to them being big. What else? And by looks of her, she's not small. Like if you look at her, she's
Would
actually.
Would you date someone who's plus size?
She's not small. No. Her friends are way more smaller than her.
Because why don't you just work out?
You, baby, you're young now, but in a couple of more years, you're gonna be thick too. I can see it in your arms. It's easy for a 20-something to be like, oh, fat phobic. But baby, let me see how you look at 40. Let me see how you look at 35. Then we'll see that because age and time will humble you. Age and time will humble you. Age and time will humble you because very few people keep the same metabolism in their 20s as in their 30s and 40s. Very few. There's some. Secretly, 30s will humble you too. Mm-hmm. Some of them 30s will humble. Some of them, that first baby in your 20s will humble you. That first baby you have will get you right together. And if you ain't got no workout regimen, then you're gonna be like, why? Then the people are gonna be looking at you like, why you don't just work out? Why you don't just work out? But I think somebody said earlier, this is their opinion, this is their choice, and people be mad at people not having these kind of choice, but they don't owe anybody. But we, not just they, we don't owe anybody our perimeters of attraction. I don't owe you to you. I don't need everybody in my box of attraction. You don't have to be here. My bedroom is a dictatorship. It is not a democracy. You don't get to have a vote in who gets to come in my bedroom. I'm the only person that gets a vote. And my bedroom choices can be as discriminatory as I want them to be, because this is the agency that I have over my body and my sexual experience. So I don't get to agree. My sexual choices does not have to align with your politics. They don't. They don't have to align with what you think is problematic or not problematic. I can like whatever the fuck I want to like. Period. I can. You don't get to tell me what I like. Now, of course, we have the legal stuff, bitch. You can't like 10-year-olds, bitch. You can, but you're a fucking pedophile. You're a weirdo. Technically, you can in your brain and let nobody knows about it, but you're a fucking weirdo, and that's a problem. So, I guess you technically can, but that's illegal and weird, and you can't act on that. That's late and tired. But when we're talking about adults and what is appropriate, you can have whatever range of what you like. They can be whatever size, they can be whatever race, they can be whatever color, they can be whatever gender, they can be whatever educational level, they can be whatever you want them to be, whatever your thing is. And nobody can have a problem with that. And I think a lot of times Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. I think a lot of times most people who have a problem is people who want to fit the bill of attractiveness. Like, I know y'all have seen like dudes. I see it in videos sometimes, and sometimes I hear it in conversation. Like, straight men will say something along the lines of, "Oh, I need to know if he gay or not because I don't want him trying to holler at me." And then the gay boy will say, "Dude, like, I'm not attracted to you at all. Just because I'm gay doesn't mean that you're my type. Cisgender women ain't even attracted to you." Cisgender women don't even mess with you. So why you think the superficial, aesthetically superficial gay community is gonna like you? You ain't nobody's type, and it'd be somebody that's like, dude, we not even attracted to you. What? Why you think you are not at risk at all? And they will get mad and be offended. Like, why are you offended that the gay dude is not attracted to you? Why are you offended at that? That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Why? It just really doesn't. You're not attracted to nobody. So why would the gays be attracted? Right. I'm trying to get my food. Yeah, ain't nobody attracted to you. Baby, you don't have to worry about the gays or the girls. Yes, it's like, child, ain't nobody worried about you. You are safe. You don't need to know if nobody gay, because even the straight girls don't want to be with you. I have my spring rolls and my peanut sauce. I am starving. Oh, yeah. But they think everybody should be attracted to them. I've seen people in the video. What is a spring roll? Another word for it is a goy roll. It is rice. It's like an egg roll, but instead of them frying it, it's like soft. It's like a rice paper, and it has it can have whatever in it, but it's like noodles, carrots, some type of meat, usually like pork or chicken or crab. This has crab and pork. That yellow thing is mango. Strips of mango, strips of cucumber. It's like kind of like like an egg roll, but it's not crispy. I used to be able to scarf like 4 of these down. Just greedy. Big bag, big bag, big bag, big bag. But now I can only eat 2. Okay. Oh, it is 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 3, 4 o'clock. I wish to go to Australia. That's my new location. So go, I'll show you. I always make a wish at when it's 12:34. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do y'all do that? I'm gonna go to a lavender field in Australia. You're not afraid of alien-sized bugs, baby? I live in the South, baby. We got huge bugs too. All right, here's another one that I want to show y'all.
I still like.
Oh, let me tell y'all this too. Let me show y'all this.
I still like.
All right, so y'all know this guy. So, do y'all know these people? So Kendra G, she's like a, like a Tasha TKO. That's old school version. She's like a Tasha K. Relationship chick. She's like a black woman version of like Kevin Samuels, but not with the misogynistic spin. But she talk about relationships. She bring people on and they be talking about it. Do y'all know him? This white boy? So this white boy, his name is Russell Hartley. He does content. Do y'all know Shira 7, like the Sprinkle Girl? So Shira 7 does what the internet calls dark femininity, where it's about, it's about women working within the patriarchy to get what they want, like get their money, da 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 da. He is like a white male version of that, where he is trying to teach women, don't settle for less, get your money, da 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 da. That is his thing. So he be saying stuff that women like to hear, like, you shouldn't be dating nobody broke. You shouldn't be dating, basically like the white version of Derek Jackson, where he's pandering to women. He ain't talking negative about women. He telling them, don't settle for less. Don't be dealing with dudes who broke and ain't got no car. And da 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 da. They need to step their game up. Have some respect for yourself in regards to that. So he be giving all of that, this white boy. What people don't know, and this is why I hate the internet sometimes, is this is a grift. He has switched up his politics because he used to be one of those Kevin Samuels niggas. But he switched it up because he knew it made money to go after the women in this way. He used to be problematic, but it didn't become popular. But now that he has switched up his politics to be sprinkle, and the women are chasing him, he keeps getting platformed by some of the black women like Kendra G. But he has deleted all his other stuff, like his stuff that he used to talk about. He used to be real patriarchal, right-wing conservative. But people don't remember that because it didn't get popular. Similar to like Hope Giselle in the trans community, where people don't remember when she used to be real conservative, talking shit about the trans women. But she's flipped her politics once the tranny stuff started getting popular. And she was like, oh, this shit ain't making me no money. Let me get over here and act like I'm one of the woke girls. And because people don't remember back in them days, unless you were back in them days, you might not know that she used to be on her All Lives Matter shit. You might not know that she used to blame trans girls for getting killed on being sex workers. When that just wasn't what the data was saying. Right. Her Facebook Lives used to be late and tired. She literally was the Candace Owens of the trans community. And now y'all be on her dick like she's smart. So, letting her scam y'all. But I got her blocked, so I don't ever be seeing her stuff. But I hear y'all be letting her scam y'all. Do you think Candace Owens is ever going to switch up? No, she's making too much money where she's at. Usually the switch up happens when they're not making money in whatever arena that they're in. Like him, when he was being patriarchal conservative, he switched over to this. Now he's good. Now he's on Kendra G, child. She was just on Mark Lamont Hill repping for trans folks, and I left. And people will say, well, we gotta give people room to evolve. Yes, we do. We do have to give people room to evolve. Absolutely. But if what you're putting in public shows one thing, and then what you're doing behind the scenes shows that you still that old person, it indicates to me that you still a grifter. That you still that same person. You just switch it up because it started to be popular enough to make money. And that's your tea. So I wanted y'all to show y'all him because that is his grift. This dude, this white boy.
If you as a woman accept a man that offers to take you on a date, but then suggests to split the bill, or that I should pay for my half, you pay for yours, if you accept that behavior, that is setting the precedent for the entire relationship. And I'm going to predict the future. Watch this. I predict that if you go on a date with a man that suggests paying for half the bill at the end, that you will end up moving in with that man and paying his rent, half his car note, half the groceries, half the electricity, half of everything. That's what's going to happen. I can see the future. Did you guys know that? I can see into you. Men think that just because they got you a $25 barbecue plate from the restaurant that you now owe them some coochie or something. And it's like, what entitlement you must have for your life, you see?
Who is falling for that? Somebody, because he got 355K people. And so somebody felt, and I remember the last time I checked on him, he wasn't that high. So somebody is following for it. But did you see what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that he be doing. He be in these ill-fitted suits.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Tuesday.
That's his live.
Like y'all get married before 2 years, I would caution you because.
So yeah, Mr. Russell.
I still I can't even knock Russell's point of view because he's sitting here trying to like prove something in the aspect of like only date people who are successful in the aspect of stability. And I'm not knocking that. Who the hell is sitting here knocking that? I would be crazy to be knocking that. My whole point is I did a lot, man. Kendra, have you ever built a home? Like from scratch? I'm just asking a question.
I wanted to give you a chance to talk. Can we respond?
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever you go first.
You got, in my experience, when somebody's explaining this much, it seems to be, something a little suspicious is happening, So just, I don't know the whole story. I guess you're right about that. I didn't know the first part or whatever, but it seems like if it's this much explanation, I learned so much about you just so quickly. And all of it seems just like some fucking victim of circumstances, and a 30-year-old that can't get his life in order because he was adopted, and then somebody he met and moved him in like family, and then he met some other woman, and then he set up shop up there, and then the car exploded. Just a lifetime of this is going to.
Hey, out of curiosity, just real quick, I'll
drag somebody into your shitty financial situation.
Hold on. Just out of curiosity,
making excuses forever. And I met you. I've learned that in 30 seconds, and I'm exhausted.
I still I can't even knock.
So Kendra has let him on the show, and it's not that what he's saying is wrong. It's just that if you know who he was back then, you know that this is a game. It's not that what he's saying is wrong. I'm not saying that. But if you know what you know, if you know him back then, you know that what he's giving now is a game. He has picked up on the game, the hustle of being this type of dude. Which I find to be funny.
It doesn't matter if I'm out of the city, out of town.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Narcissistic mirroring. His giving shut up. All right. His manner of speaking sounds like bullshit. Yeah. It's like girl gone. Here we go. What do y'all think about this? So this is Trixie Mattel from Drag Race fame.
I like to poke the bear. I like the idea that someone will see me in this and be like, ugh, I like that. Like if the world got so progressive that drag wasn't even interesting, there'd be like no gas in the tank for me. Even drag queens sometimes sit around in dressing rooms and go like, we are not even that interesting. We are not worth taxpayer dollars legislating against. We're not. I just kind of feel like, are you bitches for real? Don't you have potholes to fill? Like base level things. I don't want to read to kids at the library. I don't. I never have and I never will. Yeah. But I don't think that no one should. Conservatives think that drag queens go home at night and they unroll a map like Risk and they go, we're going to take Illinois next. Like, that's not happening.
What y'all think about that?
I like to poke the bear. I like the idea that someone will see me in this and be like, ugh, I like that. Like if the world got so progressive that drag wasn't even interesting, there'd be like no gas in the tank for me. Even drag queens sometimes sit around in dressing rooms and go like, we are not even that interesting. We are not worth taxpayer dollars legislating against. We're not. I just kind of feel like, are you bitches for real? Don't you have potholes to fill? Like base level things. I don't want to read to kids at the library. I don't. I never have and I never will. Yeah. But I don't think that no one should. Conservatives think that drag queens go home at night and they unroll a map like Risk and they go, we're going to take Illinois next. Like, that's not happening. I like to poke the bear. I like the idea that someone...
Yeah. I thought that was an interesting conversation because it reminded me of when I was younger. We had a drag queen who was what we would consider there's different you know, I hope y'all know that drag is like an art, and there are different types of drag queens. Like there are different types of within the drag world, there's a different type of drag girl. So and y'all tell me if y'all wrong or if y'all know the difference. So Trixie would be what I would consider camp. So Trixie has a camp kind of look and drag. It's like a campy drag. And so there's a campy drag, there is a there's a drag that is, I call it a fish drag, where it's female impersonation. They're trying to look fish. They're, you know, most of it has some of the, you gonna get the glitz and glam, but it's meant to look like a doll. Like it's meant to like a girl. They usually have work done, titties, They usually don't. These girls that I call fish drag, they usually, when they come out of drag, they still a girl. Not all of them, but there's some overlap in each category. But usually the fish drag girls are actually trans. They just so happen to get caught up in the drag world. You get what I'm saying? Because that was a part of the culture. Think like Giselle, Barbie, think Sasha Chance Sanchez, think Raquel Lord. You know what I'm saying? That is fish drag to me. That's fish drag. And it's different kind of America Girls. So like America Girls, they're gonna be they're gonna be like RuPaul. RuPaul is America Girl, where they are boys. Yes, Silky Monroe, absolutely. Where there are boys drag, this is where you're gonna get Bob the drag queen, you're gonna get Monet, you're gonna get RuPaul, you're gonna get where they are boys outside of drag, but they get in drag. Boom, you're gonna get Jasmine Masters. You feel what I'm saying? And there can be some blending of the look. Mariah Balenciaga, I don't know who that is. But there can be a blending of these different looks. You feel what I'm saying? The new queens have ushered in a high fashion drag. Give me an example of high fashion drag. Give me some examples. I'm in the Carolinas. We call the trans dolls the showgirls. I call it fish drag. That's what I call it. A trans drag. I call it trans drag, fish drag. Whereas you still getting all the glitz and glam and costuming of trans, drag. You're getting the stones, you're getting the makeup, you're getting the long lashes, you're getting the drag of it, the artistry of drag, but it really is woman. I like drag kings and drag monsters. What is that? I don't know what that is. I know what drag kings are, but what is drag monsters? What's that? I ain't never heard of drag monsters. As a category, what is drag monsters? We call the trans girls showgirls. We do call them showgirls, but showgirls are usually when we say showgirls where I'm from, that means they're on a cast. Anybody could be a showgirl. That just means you're actually on a show. You're on a cast. So, but campy is gonna be this kind of Trixie Mattel campy. Do y'all consider Alyssa Edwards campy? Is Alyssa Edwards camp? Because I feel like sometimes she be giving it don't always be camp. Sometimes it be sickening. Sometimes it just be sickening, child. Do y'all consider Bob and Monet camp? Do y'all consider Bob and Monet campy? That's another thing.
Hey, what it do, y'all? Let's get ready.
I like to poke.
That's another thing about the black girls, because I sometimes it just be there'd be regular drag, and then I'm trying to get, because I consider Alexis Davenport camp. Yeah, that's just regular America drag to me. Whatever RuPaul is just America drag, like just a boy drag. I'm a boy outside of work, and then I get into drag. I ain't got no titties. I ain't got nothing. Everything is I'm creating the illusion. But I'm trying to think of a black camp girl. Who is a black camp? Who is a black camp girl? I feel like Alexis Davenport is a black camp girl. Bob and Monet are outside of that for me. Coco Montrese. Let me see. Coco Montrese. Coco Montrese is camp? I don't think Coco. That's kind of where it gets racialized to me, because I don't know if I would consider her camp. Miss Fame, Violet. I need to look all these people up. I don't know these people. Bob and Monet are definitely comedy camp queens. Definitely get the comedy. She's definitely black camp. Okay. Okay. I can kind of. I need to see her for me to know, because I can't. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, maybe. Okay, I can see I can see. I see it as I go through her pictures. I see what y'all talk about. Okay. Alyssa Edwards is old school drag. Yes, that's the kind of drag I love. The Alyssa Edwards kind of drag. I love the Alyssa Edwards kind of drag. I love the what's the sickening one? Raja. I like whatever Raja do. I love what Raja do. I love trans drag and whatever Raja and Melissa Edwards do. That is my sickening. Where it's a glam and it's big. It's a yeah. I also like, what was the girl that looked, I also like when you have a unique look. Like, what's her name? Sharon Needles? Sharon Needles? Yeah, like Sharon Needles. Like I like when you have a unique look that is yeah, definitely goth drag. Yes. I like when you have that kind of you just have a unique look about yourself. I love that. I love when you have a unique look. Um what do y'all consider Amanda Lepore? A doll. So I just Googled, is Amanda Lepore a drag queen? And they said no, Amanda Lepore is not a drag queen. She is a transgender model, singer, and performance artist who has been a prominent figure in the New York City nightlife scene and is known for her eccentric plastic surgery. The exaggerated features are very, very camp to me. They are. And I'm asking y'all just to see y'all distinctions. Because that is very campy. Amanda is high femme club queen. I can get that. I'm trying to see how y'all draw these lines. Because it would be hard if I was a cisgender person to tell the difference between um, a trans drag queen and Amanda Lepore. I could tell the difference between RuPaul and Amanda Lepore just based on the surgeries. So RuPaul is coming out of it and being a man in his day to day, but Amanda is not. Amanda is a trans woman. But I do see some of the stuff that she do as a costume. I see camp at fun, funny Broadway show queen. Mm, okay. So so I said all of that. I got just sidetracked when we talking about drag. So I say all of that because Trixie is talking about, like I don't want us to get. She's basically saying I don't want us to get so progressive that drag is just drag. The whole point of drag, I like pressing the bear. I like when you see me that it's a gag. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, a drag queen. And she was like, that's gonna take the gas of it. And I kind of understood that in the sense of I remember when I was young and we had a campy girl in our city. Her name was Montana Melons. I will remember that name for the rest of my life. Montana Melons. And I would see her walking up and I'm a 14, 15-year-old kid. And I would see her walking up and down. Did y'all have a campy girl in y'all city? What was her name? And I would see her walking up and down the street. And I remember this so vividly. I am young, trying to sneak into the club. I don't know if you remember this, Ty, but me and Ty we couldn't get in the club, and so we were outside on the basically on the curb, just kind of waiting and kikiing and just doing our thing. And Montana Melons come down the street, and she has on this neon green ball gown. It's made like a big, like, like a ball gown, like a similar to like Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Similar to that, except instead of it going all the way down to the ground, it was kind of short. kind of like Eveline on The Wiz, where you can still see the legs. And so she has on this like neon green, like she done took some of them, she done took a bunch of them vests, like vests that like the construction workers be wearing, that kind of neon highlighter, yellow green, that kind of is iridescent a little bit. And she done made it into a ball gown. She got on these kind of like striped stockings and these like heels, these like bright orange heels. And then she got these, she got on her, on the titty part of the dress is the actual cones, the street cones, those bright orange street cones. And so she got them in her titties and they are flashing. And so she has this hair that's jacked up. It is sickening. It is love. She got this hair that's jacked up in that highlighter yellow. This is like 90s, y'all. This is like 95, 96. So that highlighter yellow that Lady Gaga did in the 2010s, that really just this sickening ass fucking highlighter yellow, and it's kind of cocked to one side like Cyndi Lauper, and it's big and beautiful. And she got her makeup it was really exaggerated, like same way not exactly like Trixie Mattel, but that kind of, there's a drag where it's just exaggerated femininity, and then there's like a intentionally over exaggerated, like Trixie Mattel's look. That's how her makeup used to be. Very black, very just different, overlined lips, all of that. And she was sickening, and she was tipping down the street going to this little place called the Abbey, and then I think she was going to like the Metro. The Metro was a club that she used to be at, to perform at. And so I'm seeing her walking down the street, and I'm seeing the people gagging. And it was so sickening that they had her gagging, and she was so tall. She got these big cone titties, and they lighten up with I think she had put some bike, the bike lighting things on the back that to be on back of people's bikes. She had put that inside the cone, so they were like lighting up, it was so sickening. And she just looked love. She just looked like this hazardous roadside couture. Yeah. It was so love. It was so sickening. And I remember how people were just gagging at her and celebrating her and gagging her. And I was like, that is what drag does, especially camp drag. But that is what drag does. And I think with the popularity of RuPaul, it has become a cultural phenomenon, and it doesn't do that anymore. I think the people that do that to the world now are people like Alok Mignon. I think people who have that really extreme non-binary, androgyny kind of experience, like Alok. I think those are the people that make the world around them gag, like the way drag queens. I don't think drag queens have the same effect as they used to have. Do y'all think so? I think that because of the popularity of Drag Race, that drag queens have become, I'm trying to think of an equivalent. I guess drag queens has kind of become like goth. Like goth has become more aesthetic and fashion. Yes, it's not political. Yeah, I think Fab, you are totally onto it, because Gothic, hardcore goth used to be almost like a political statement against the norm, the status quo. And now it has actually become like just a part of fashion. Like, like a Rick Owens. Like Rick Owens feels like a gothy fashion line. And so that Rick Owens look, that fashion Rick Owens look is kind of like it's a fashion aesthetic and no longer a political statement. When we would see back in my day, I hate that I'm old enough to say that and mean it. I don't hate that I'm old enough to say it. It's just interesting to hear me say it. Back in my day, having tattoos, like having tattoos and piercings and being that kind of gothy aesthetic, that used to be a political statement. It is no longer that anymore. I think it is just a look. It's kind of like a dandy in a classic way, like in the way that like that classic look, that classic femininity or classic masculinity with the tailor suit, that kind of dandy, that's a look. Goth is a look too. I love Marc Jacobs because it's so accessible and still be sickening. This makes me think about the definition of punk and queer. Drag queens used to be inspired mainstream culture and fashion, but now a lot of drag queens are just following the trends instead of crashing the system like the old days. Yeah, the edginess of tattoos definitely wore off. Yeah, it's not edgy no more. It's not edgy at all. Piercings ain't even edgier now. Colorful hair was a statement. Yes, yes. Piercing, tattoos, and colored hair like pink, blue, was a statement. It is no longer a statement now. It seemed like it's just a fashion thing. Maybe in certain circles, but I don't find it to be as provocative. Is that the right word? I think people are more in awe of the dolls now that they are drag queens. Give me an example. Are they? I don't know. My grandma and my mom got their tongue and lips pierced together. I hadn't thought about what that could have meant in the culture for them because they are queer. They colored their hair together too. Yes, I'll never forget being in third grade, 1906, 2006, and seeing my art teacher having a tattoo, and we were gagged for the first time the whole first week of class. Tattoos were a big deal at one point. They are not at all anymore. You got whole doctors out here with whole sleeves. I was like that about my art teacher having a belly button. And I think that the internet has exposed us to so many variations of people. Like, I'm thinking about it's a couple of things. I'm about to type it down so I don't remember, so I don't get sidetracked. Like, I remember seeing somebody with Down syndrome was rare. Like, I've seen so many people. We got actresses that got Down syndrome now. Seeing somebody with Down syndrome, I was raised around somebody with Down syndrome. My cousin Kurt, and I'm really blessed. That's one of the things that in my younger years blessed me to have sympathy for disabilities and just people, just people in those kind of different kind of ways of being. And it taught me really, really early to appreciate people and to, just how to engage with disabilities. But Kurt was the only one I met until I got older. Then I would run into people and say, oh, they got Down syndrome. And I can be able to see, you know how you can tell somebody has Down syndrome by how they look. But now on the internet, I run across them so much. So there's that. People who have like let me show you. People who have like naturally, not I created this look, but naturally androgynous looks.
What's the type of girl?
Let me see if I can find activity like this person. This person, I don't think that they are trans. I don't think that they are non-binary. I think that they are just a gay man. Okay? But their look is so androgynous that it gags people. And I think seeing people like this is way more common now than before because we're more exposed to people.
I just wanted to come on here and say, I am at the gym all the time, right? And I see all these men, these like men in these little teeny little strappy shirts. And I'm always like, wow, they look slay on that. And I was like, I don't know if that's my speed. And then I was like, I just was wanting one for a while. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna fucking get one. So I got one. I put the shit on this morning and I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't do this. And then I went to the gym in it and I was like, this is actually kind of slutty. It's actually kind of cute. And I love it. And I'm like, am I one of you now? Am I one of you? I think we're just like this much different. Just this much different. But I think I'm one of them. In my head. Anyways. I just wanted to come on here and say.
So, and when you go through her, there, I don't know what's going on. Hold on. I don't want to be rude or anything because they don't have it on their shit. So I don't know what they got going on. So I don't know what they are. But from what I'm gathering, it doesn't give that they're trans and it doesn't give that they're non-binary. So they don't give any of that. They're a yoga teacher. They are a singer, songwriter, a vegan. And being that they're calling themselves a gym bro.
Let me be your permission slip. If you want to put on your assless chaps.
They ding ding be out.
And you want to have a solo dance party to Lady Gaga's new album in your house alone.
I just think they're a gay man.
Your permission slip. You can do that. What do you want to do today? You want to express yourself? You want to wear that thing that you bought, but you're like, I don't know, it's too loud. Wear it. You want to say something?
So yeah, and I think being exposed, we are exposed to people like this.
What's up, money? You got a problem? What you looking at my ass for? Nah, yo, hold my poodle. Hold my poodle. Hey, yo, what's up? Y'all got a problem?
It's funny. She's funny though. But I think this about people weren't exposed to things back in the day. And I think this about music too, y'all. So when we were coming up, we were really exposed. We were just exposed to people who the pop world was allowing us to see. So we would, you know, when I was growing up, it was Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Luther Vandross in the Black community, Luther Vandross in the 80s. If you go out to the Black community, you're going to get Madonna, you know what I'm saying? The classic pop stars. And so hearing a voice that gave you chills. Yeah, Dolly ain't what I'm talking about though, but Dolly country girl, yes. Hearing a soulful voice that gave you chills, like y'all know them chill bumps. Oh, I don't know if everybody get it. I don't want to say somebody's. I don't want to tell people's experience. When I hear certain types of singers, they give me, when they're delivering a song, they give me chill bumps, goosebumps, chill bumps. I don't know what y'all call them, but goosebumps. In church, we call it anointing. Like when somebody can give you that feeling that makes your hair stand up on your head while they singing in church, we call it the anointing. But you learn, as I got older, I learned very, very quickly that other people can give you that feeling. For me, I don't know about nobody else, but for me, other people can give you that feeling. But what has happened in the past 20 years, 15, 20 years, we are starting to be exposed to people through the internet who have next level vocal talent. They're just not famous. But because of the phone accessibility and the internet, we actually can hear them sing, and they, in a way that we don't have any, that we didn't have back in the day. They're meeting a singer that was on a level that can do all the sickening stuff that we know of today. That was really, really rare. But now there are so many talented singers that we are exposed to that are not stars, that are just on the internet like us, using the phone and recording themselves doing their talent. And they have grown up with these amazing people, and some of them haven't, but they still have just a natural talent ability. But some of them, they have grown up with a Karen Clark Sheard, a Whitney Houston, a Brandy, they have grown up with these people, and they know how to do things based on hearing them. And now they can do all of the stuff. Like, I know somebody who can do everything that Kimberell does, they can do. I know people who have the range and who can pop notes and who can run, who got the power, but they're not famous. And so being exceptional to me is really, really hard nowadays, because it is so many vocally, there are so many exceptional singers who are like, oh my God, you can really sing. So it takes it. It makes you need to have more. No shade. The vocal coaching on YouTube changed the game for us civilian singers. Everyone can make a decent song now. I think that's a level that is too. I think that's something that makes sense. There's a lot of coaching, free coaching, that you might not have could have got back in the day, because if you weren't in the music classes, you wouldn't be able to get that. Yeah, I think that's an element too. But I think that's technology too. Like, you can read, like, I literally got a studio on my computer. You got a way for you to record yourself and make it sound decent. And then there's people out here making tracks for you who can and the internet has made it to where you record it and you send it to another producer and they can fix stuff for you. They can master and mix it, or you can learn yourself. You can literally get on YouTube and learn how to mix and master a track and kill it. I love that shit. That is my sickening. Hold on. Let me go back. This is not what I wanted to do. Like, that's one of my songs. That's one of my favorite songs I ever written. I love that song, but it was so easy for me to do in regards to like recording at the time, and I didn't know shit. As far I know way more now, but when I recorded that probably like 15 years ago. And it was I sent it to this dude for him to help me with it, and he was like, "Yo, like this already sounds good. Just do this." He gave me these little tips to make it cool, and he was like, "Yeah, this is already good." That's the beauty of the internet. Like, there's stuff that can just be done, and you don't have to unlike back in the day where you had to go to these amazing studios. And it just was something that where we are now, it's so much exposure, and for you to be like, I don't know, for you to be exceptional, I think it's harder now because it doesn't seem as exotic. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't, it's kind of like finding a pretty girl in LA. Like, do you know how many beautiful women are in LA? Because people are coming out there to be celebrities, the cream of the the cream of the crop of the country is coming there to be actresses, to be models, to be designers, da 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 da. So running into an exceptionally beautiful girl in Los Angeles, California, that's really really common. So for you to be stand out, exceptional, it's rare, and I think that that's where we are about many things. I think that is where we are about many things with singers. I think it's in talent in general. I don't think these things shock people anymore. I see how they're talking even about trans women. You see them clocking cisgender women now. Like, you see them thinking that they're trans because they never saw they never saw these kind of cisgender women that kind of look trans, not knowing that some cis women be on that line, baby. or boys. There be some boys that's like, oh, you really look like a girl, but they're not trying to. They're not trying to look like a girl. This is just them, but they just do, like the person I just showed y'all. And being exposed to people like that in this time where there's like this anti-trans stuff happening, it's interesting how it's affecting people who are not even trans. Where is the one? And this is the last video I'm gonna show y'all, because that leads me to this.
The reason why Republicans, I want people to understand that the reason why Republicans are going after trans women so hard, and arguably not trans men as hard, is because they are obsessed with defining and restricting the definition of what a woman is. And their end goal is to be able to define and probably codify that being a woman means having children. This is why it's so important for cisgender women to be trans allies and support trans women, is because our destiny are tied together. Fighting for the rights of trans women ultimately benefits cis women as well, because what trans women represent is the possibility for womanhood to be as big and broad and free as we want it to be, which is exactly what Republicans hate, is women choosing for themselves who they want to be.
I thought that was a good message for her from her. And that being defining womanhood broadly, physically and on an ideological level. Because the more expansive it is, the more inclusive it is. When you try to narrow it down, girl, when you try to narrow it down, it gets weird. And people get pushed out, and they thought that they were safe, but they're not. My gay aunt used to say the trade will show you how the world is. And these days the trade ain't shocked or impressed by shit. You can't turn out anyone anymore. I miss the old days. I do not. While it was fun in my younger years to be able to like, ooh, I'm eating the trade, I don't fetishize trade no more. So I don't care about turning them out. Because during the turnout phase, I'm not usually getting what I want. I'm not getting pleased, because usually a nigga that's getting turned out don't have the skills I want him to have to please me. So that's number one. Number two, they're not, it's too objectifying. Once that phase of, ooh, I'm doing something I've never done goes away, then what? Yeah, it's just not, for me, it just doesn't impress me anymore. Turning a dude out does not impress me anymore. Not like it did when I was younger. It's like, ooh, if I find out that I'm your first for real, and I believe it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I want to have a good experience. I want you to have a good experience, but it doesn't do what it used to do to me in my younger years. Now to me, it's like, oh, girl, I don't even want to do nothing with you. I really be thinking like, no, I'd be telling them no, thank you, because I want a dude who is experienced, child. I want him to know what he's doing. I want him to know how to beat your cakes in. I want him to know how to gobble meat. I want him to know, how to engage with your queer body. It just doesn't it just doesn't do anything for me. And I'm not into young dudes. We just talked about that earlier in the live. I'm not into young dudes. So because of that, these new age dudes, I don't meet them. So I still meet older dudes who are impressed when they meet trans women that they couldn't tell was a trans woman. I mean, older dudes, not younger dudes. I still meet older dudes who didn't grow up in the culture that we are now, who still are impressed. And I travel. That's another element too. I travel around the world, and there are places where the trans girls are not common. So you still can meet those types of dudes that are like, oh, every place that you live is not progressive. I also live in the South, so I can go to San Antonio and still meet those kind of 90s versions of trade. I can go to certain parts of my city and still meet niggas who is, they just don't come in contact with trans girls like that. You can still go to places that are not as progressive as the bigger cities. Go to Memphis, go to Savannah, Georgia, go to even like a Charlotte, even the smaller cities in the United States. When you visit there, if you're chasing dudes to turn out, you can meet them. Go to St. Louis, not St. Louis, kind of. I don't know. That's my old stopping ground, so I'm pretty sure that you might can meet some. I don't know. Every city got an area, especially if you go to a smaller city. Now in the bigger cities, I think it's so many other girls that it's kind of hard to find that. But if you go to one of the smaller cities, you can still have that kind of vibe. But I don't miss the old days. I like now where I tell you my tea and honey, you know what it is, and you ready to gobble. But all right, y'all, that's all the stuff that I wanted to talk about today. Make sure y'all thumbs up, and I'm about to take my ass to sleep. I'm about to watch. I got a show to watch. I think I'm about to watch catch up, because starting this week, we have 3 shows that comes out. We got Handmaid's Tale, Last of Us comes out. Handmaid's Tale come out tomorrow. Black Mirror comes out Thursday, and Last of Us comes out on the 13th, Sunday. So we got 3 good shows coming out this week. So I'm trying to go back and watch old episodes. So I'm going to watch some episodes. I did Last of Us last night. I'm about to watch the last season of Handmaid's Tale. And then I'm going to go back and watch anything that I didn't finish with Black Mirror. Because Black Mirror isn't like episode like consecutive same. It's just different. Every episode have a different theme. So there's some that I watch and some that I don't. So I'm gonna go catch up. But yeah, Handmaid's Tale is too much for me. It's rough. Get some balls, Chris. No, it is rough. If you're not used to, I don't want to say used to, but it's not rough it's not, I can deal with it. It's like, okay. Honey, baby, we were seeing people get burned on Game of Thrones, child. Burned by dragons. If I can watch that, I can watch this. Yeah, it's not, but also once you get past I want to say season 3, like 4 and 5. The last season that's coming out is 6. 4 and 5 didn't feel as trauma based as 1, 2. I think 3 and 4 is when things are changing and you get to see more revenge. Like you get to first the first, like it's 6. So let's do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is giving you the information on the world. Game of Thrones is fantastical. Game with Handmaids is too real. They both fantastical, girl. They both, one is fantasy this way, one is fantasy, honey, dystopian. Yes, it is. That you're right. You picking up on, because that's what she said. That's what she said. She said this is a fantasy book. This is a fiction, but she said I made sure that in the book everything that I depict that happened already happened in our history. So you can't say, "Oh, this could never happen." No, bitch, it already did. Everything that she says that happened in the book, it's already been done. So she made clear, very, very clear and sure that anything that she put in the book, this has happened in the real world. So this is not something that hasn't happened. But yeah, I think the first 3 seasons, it is setting up the world that we're trying to, that you create this world and then you undo it all in the last 3 seasons. The last 3 seasons is undoing it all. It's kind of like Game of Thrones too. Game of Thrones did it too. What happens in the beginning, you're creating this world. You're creating these characters. You're giving details about Dany, details about Jon Snow, details about the Starks, details about the Lannisters. You're getting all this history and this detail. But by the time you get towards season 4, 5, because it's 8, so 1 through 4 gives you the world and the complication of the relationships of the people. Season 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 through 8, it makes the world smaller. Remember what starts to happen. The wall goes down. Honey, Cersei get basically dismantled. She not in power no more. They imprison Cersei. Do you see what I'm saying? Like everything, kind of the world gets smaller. They all fight at what was it Winterfell? Where did they fight that first where did they fight the when they killed, where was that at? Was that Winterfell? Where did they fight the Ice King? The king, were they at Winterfell? Was that Winterfell that they fought at? I can't remember. Wherever they fought, where they killed the Snow King or whatever his name is. Is it something King? The Walker King. Wherever they fought him at in that last season, they all came together there. The Wildlings was there. Yeah, it was Winterfell. Yeah. So the Wildlings was there. So like they create this big old world. So think about it. They create this big old world. She all the way in the desert, making people not slaves no more. She way over here. These people in Dawnish, in the Dawnish, baby, they way over here. The Wildlings is way, way, way in the north, and da 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 da. Everything starts to get smaller. As far as the storytelling, everything comes together where everybody goes to Winterfell, and then it goes to King's Landing, and this is where it ends. The King's Landing is where it ends. So it makes that you create the world and then you undo the world. That's what's the beauty of storytelling. You set the world up and then you do it. So what's happening in Handmaid's Tale is the first 3 seasons, you are setting the world up and establishing the relationships of the characters, and then you're undoing the whole world as the story goes on. And so we are now, by the time you get to season 3, 4, I want to say by the time you get to 4 is the undoing. So we get to see how June, what happens to June, what happens to Fred, what happens to Serena, what happens to the people. Only one we don't really get to see what happens to the people. Well, we kind of do, but kind of don't. Is Emily. And if you haven't watched it, I don't want to ruin that for y'all. But we don't really get to see what happens to Emily because they tell us what happened to her, but we don't get to see it because of the real in life, the real world actress quit the show. But I would love. I hate people like that. I hate people. Emily the lesbian. Yes, we get to see. She lasts a long time, but these last seasons, she's not in season 5. She's in season 4, but she's not in season 5 because she leaves. The real actress leaves the show. And what I was about to say is I hate people like that. I hate when people leave shows. I know it's their life, but bitch, go the show till the show ends, ho. You better be like Grey's Anatomy. I need you to last long, like that white girl on Grey's Anatomy, child. I wish they do bring Emily back, especially it's season 3. It's season 6, and it's the last season. Come back. When you are introduced to us as an actress by a show that's a popular show, I feel like you should honor your fans and do like I hate that I don't hate it now that she came back, but Kim Cattrall, like this show is about we get introduced to you, not Kim Cattrall. It's hard to say it with Kim because Kim had so many other iconic roles like Mannequin and you get what I'm saying, but we really start fucking with you with Sex and the City. Girl, just come back to close it out. Like you ain't even gonna come back to close it out. I hate that. Moira says she won't do any sequels because it's too traumatic. The actress. Yeah, but she gonna close it out. She gonna close the show out. Yeah, she gonna do that. But that makes sense. She says she doesn't want to do the testaments. And I get it. I actually feel like they should do we should be introduced to new actresses anyway. Unless it's the main girl like June or whatever. I haven't read the testaments, so I don't know what happens in those stories and what's the premise of those stories, but I understand it. But I do want you to close it out. Like I'm glad that this last season of Just Like that Samantha came back and did a cameo episode. I thought that was dope. But I want Emily to come back this season. That would be the cherry on top for Emily to come back this season. But I'm pretty sure she's not. Because once you leave, they also get you in bad blood with the fucking unless they doing like a plot twist to plan. But yes, I need y'all to be up on it. So Chris, you need to stick through it and be up. And this is the good parts. This is the good. Like it's coming to where we get to see the evil people get taken down. This is this part. Once you get to 4 through 5. Yeah. I feel like after 3, it gets like you get to see the evil people get got. You get to see some wins instead of it just being the trauma. Yeah. But all right. I'm going to try for Handmaid's Tale. I'm going to lock in for The Last of Us. Yeah, Wheel of Time is fire. All that shit is fire. Wheel of Time. Last of Us, that's... you see people getting eaten and fucking bit and shit. Zombie shit. Last of Us is... I don't know if it's traumatic. I don't find stuff like that to be traumatic, but... I mean, it's... they getting eaten and chased and... they take it. It's like Walking Dead. They gotta stab people in the head. They gotta shoot people in the head. It's way more. They eating people. They fucking cannibalistic, eating people, ears cut off and hands cut off. They got people hanging in the closet because they eating them. Now, Wheel of Time is just magical. That's like, but that could never happen. Could it? I thought the reason why I love The Last of Us is because the explanation of how it became to be was realistic sci-fi. Like, of course, it's science fiction, but that actually does happen though. Last of Us, like, if we it's literally some shit, some fungus that gets in the brain of ants and controls them. Like, yes, it's sci-fi. If something mutates to be able to do that, it could be possible. Yeah, it's stuff that be getting in the brains of mammals and wearing them out. Like, it's parasites that literally do that. So, yes, but what if they mutate in a way that makes them be able to tolerate heat? We literally have a virus that just mutated. COVID-19 was a virus that mutated. We viruses, shit like that mutate all the time. We literally got super strands of gonorrhea because bacteria is getting immune to penicillin. Because it's learning. You never know, Joe. You never know. You never know. Some of these people don't wash their legs. True. They out here doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing, which explains a lot of why, like, the plague happened in Europe. Yeah, I love Last of Us. I just rewatched the last 3 episodes last night of The Last of Us, so I'm excited about that coming on. But I need to watch Handmaid's Tale to catch up on what I need to watch. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Now I'm just the only show that I haven't got the green light on when it's coming out is P Valley. I don't know. It was supposed to come out in the spring of 2025. They said March or April, and it's not out. So, did you play through any of the games? Yes. Last of Us is one of the greatest games of all time. Last of Us is one of the greatest games of all time. It's the first game that had me emotionally connected to it like a movie. Like, it was the first game that was like, oh my God. Like, just from the first fucking time you play, like when his daughter Sarah, when Sarah gets killed, like when you first play it, it's like, oh my freaking God. Like, that emotional roller coaster, I'll remember it for the rest of my life. It was the first game that ever did that to me. It was like a movie. It was like like you're watching a movie and you like, and it just sends you on this emotional roller coaster. I remember when you going through the house and then you in the back seat of the car with him, with your dad and your uncle, and then when they fucking shoot her. Oh God, that was just like just a crazy. It just was a crazy feeling. I had never experienced that emotional connection with a video game ever. I'm trying to think of another it reminded me, not an emotional way, that was like a movie, but it reminded me of when I first seen a gay character in Elder Scrolls. Like the very first time that I ever saw like you do a side quest, and it's like in Elder Scrolls, it's different things that has happened across the years. But I remember meeting this woman at the market, and she was a NPC, but she was you if you talk to her at a certain time, it would start a quest for you to go look for her spouse. But when she's talking to you, you think that you're going to find her husband because cisgender normative. But when you get to the cave that you got to go fight to save her, and you meet her, it's not a man, it's a woman. And the first time that I saw that happen in an RPG game, I was like, oh my God, this is a gay character. I had never saw it. I had never seen it before. And then something had happened before. Let me find his name. I can't remember. Hold on. The first gay character in RPG games. I have to find it. Not that. Not him. What was his name? The one who they're saying is Tony from Earthbound in 1994. But there's another game. Let me see. I don't play them, so let me see in Elder Scrolls. What was his name? Oh my God. You fuckers suck. It was it's something hirelings. Hirelings? Hmm. I can't find it, but it was a character that was gay. He was clearly gay. I think that this was the creators like playing around with the idea, because this also was a time when they were making it seem like video games was influential. So having kind of these controversial characters was kind of wild. And so what gay people who were actually playing the game would do, that when we would make our clans, the clans will have his name in it. God, I can't remember his name, but it was something, because he was like a shop owner, and you could just tell that he was gay. Like it was like clear that this was gay. And so the clan names would be like such and such hirelings, such and such something, and we will all be in that clan because we knew this was a gay character. And it was one of the first ones. And I think that they don't consider him the gay character because he wasn't actually gay. Like he didn't have a partner, da 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 da. But the way they characterized him, he was clearly gay. Yeah, it was similar to that. It was very similar to that, except he was by himself. His mannerisms was gay. Like he was like, yes, honey. Like it was very, his mannerisms was clearly they are mimicking gay people in a good way, not in a make fun of you way, but in a good way where you like, oh, this character is gay. Like this is a queen. but they couldn't make him gay. Like they couldn't give him a partner, like a husband or nothing. So, God, what the fuck is his name? Like, do y'all play Elder Scrolls? Y'all done got me in Elder Scrolls. Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite video games of all time too. But like Elder Scroll had all kinds of like queer theme, even if they weren't uh, like really that were, yeah, Poison was supposedly trans. Yeah, she was one of the first trans characters in video games. Poison was. Um So, like for example, like in Elder Scrolls, there's different races of people. There's the Khajiit, that's like cat people, and then you got different humans. Like there's some like elves, humanoid type of ones. That's like elves and just humans, just like the Breton. It's just different ones. Like it's different ones. But one of the races of people is called the Argonians, and Argonians are like lizard people, and so Argonians is the how it describes their people, their gender and their people. Argonians' gender is assigned based on how much they lick the history as an adolescent. So there's a big old tree that you find in the middle of their area of the town, that's called the his tree. And when they lick it, it changes. Not when they lick it, like as soon as you lick it, it changes gender. But how much you lick it determines whether or not what your gender is going to be. And you have control over it. Like if you want to be a girl, you don't lick it that much, and if you want to be a boy, you lick it this much. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's a particular sap in the tree that changes your gender. Many Argonians change their gender later in their lives as well, believing that one gender, but our gender is but one. So like say that they want to turn into a girl later on, they can undo it, or they can do something else. That's a part of their culture in the world of the game, and it's kind of dope. Like that's Argonians. Oh God. There's so many like Mephelba is referred to as the androgen and is referred to with both male and female pronouns. She is referred to with she's described as this other character's mate who is also male and female. Like it's a couple characters like the gods of the character, many of like the Daedric princes. The Daedric is kind of like the demon princes. Many of them have different in different parts of the lore. There's a character in, oh, I thought you said something else. What else? Who else did I? No. I hate that I can't find this. Also, like Vivek is described. He's a god in the character in the world. Described as a hermaphrodite, meaning intersex or both male and female genitalia, and they shift genders in the text. He also had thousands of children with Bolog, which is a Daedric prince, who is referred to as both male and female. He is not born a god capable of shifting genders, describing himself as having been a whelped wench when he was a whelped wench when he was younger. So he was a girl when he was younger. All kinds of stuff. What is the I hate that I can't find this person's name because it's one of the old versions of one of the old versions, Skyrim. And I might just be old. And and I just remember the online interaction about this gay character. And it was just a moment because all the gay people would crowd around the NPC because we had never had it before. We had never had a NPC that was a gay, that was into LGBT. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'm about to get up off here. It's 2:00 in the morning. Have a wonderful day.